Welcome to FX-Sabers Live, where we're going to just talk sabers. It's saber time. I'm going to have a guest, which is going to be Yoda from FX-Sabers. He's going to call in. It's going to be a good time. We're going to talk a lot about FX-Sabers. We're going to go through and look at anything cool going on in FX-Sabers and just kind of talk about that. So if you guys aren't already a member, you can join FX-Sabers. It's free, and kind of join in and talk to us about FX-Sabers, custom lightsabers, building lightsabers. Maybe we can answer questions. Yoda is the premier expert of the Graflex lightsaber. He does the chassis. If you don't already know, I will show you guys some of the stuff he does. And let me just take a minute to just wish everybody good luck facing the storm Dorian. My parents, my sisters, a bunch of friends are in Florida, and the storm is going to, it's a big hurricane about to hit, about to swipe up Florida. South Carolina, North Carolina, going to kind of hit the coast there, it looks like. So hope everyone stays safe. My friend Brad, Django from FX-Sabers, they're in Florida. Anybody with friends and family in those areas, hope everyone stays safe. I'm going to pull up Yoda's lightsabers, his chassis system. Now, since about 2005, since FX-Sabers went live, Yoda's been making these awesome Graflex chassis, incorporating them into vintage lightsabers, vintage Graflex lightsabers, as well as the replica from different makers such as Roman's Props. As you guys can see here, these are really intricate chassis systems. Let me pull up a big picture. This kind of looks like mine. This is my Graflex that Yoda made for me. I'll show you. Whoa. Right, that is sweet. As you guys can see, there are two crystals. There's what Yoda calls power gates, which are those white lights you're seeing up the acrylic arches. That's the power gate. Two crystals lit from both the top and the bottom. So I'm gonna get this to focus a little better. This particular lightsaber has a 17500 battery pack, powering Pixel system by Collector Labs featuring the Prism 5.5. I just love the way those power gate LEDs look. This is how it looks. The idle LED. Yoda made me a special speaker. I think he calls this a prototype speaker housing. It's got a really cool woven metal. It's like a woven look, but it's metal, and it houses 2-watt bass speaker. Sounds great, especially inside the shell. Really cool shine through glass eye there. You can check out all the stuff that Yoda makes. It usually starts out on FX-Sabers. Sometimes he has the eBay auction, which happens from time to time when he's finished with a build that isn't for somebody, isn't for a customer. It will go for sale usually on eBay, and he will alert you in the FX-Sabers Graflex Armory Graflex shop. Graflex FX-Sabers, that's the post. It's under the Saber Guild manufacturers section on FX-Sabers. That's where I'm looking at this this close-up of a chassis that looks kind of like mine. This one has the Empire Strikes Back. It's usually, I think this is usually a sloth furnace card, and the rest of the interior and everything is made by Michael. He even creates the crystals there. Some of these are photo bucket links that seem to have expired. Some of the stuff on the forums got a little messed up a couple of years ago when PhotoBucket removed like anybody hosting images on their website from their website to another website, like a forum or something like that. Those links got broken, and a lot of the links, all the links basically got restored, but they got restored with a watermark on top of them. Yeah, this is another page just explaining the evolution of the FX-Sabers chassis. So you can see where it started out, and the detail just got more and more until we get to one like mine, which has a prototype chassis, just super detailed. You guys saw those power gate, like the LEDs inside there, like these little tiny micro LEDs, and the way that they light through like a little fiber optic way that lights up both the power gate and the crystal chamber is really something to be seen. And try to give you guys a close up. Hopefully that wasn't too blurry. There's just a bunch of stuff going on in Star Wars right now. I kind of heard some news today on a YouTube channel, Geeks and Gamers. Jeremy was discussing some plot leaks from Episode 9. Those weren't making me too happy. I don't want to give away what I heard, but if you guys want to go check out, it's like the latest video on Geeks and Gamers website kind of explains some basically the full plot for episode 9. So it's not making me too happy to hear some of that stuff. Like some of the stuff seemed like it would have been cool if it had the right setup, but I'm not sure that we're going to get the right setup. We're probably going to get a lot of the stuff kind of all happening in this movie, and it may be too much. We'll have to see. We'll have to see if it's all the things they want to do and all the places they want to travel in the movie. I wonder if that's going to be too much. We'll have to see. I'm going to go into the collector lab section. There's some people discussing the Crystal Focus 10. Some people got their Crystal Focus 10s already, and they are beginning to install them. This is something cool. Saw this on. I saw this on Justin's channel the other day. These new lit pixel connectors with the tall pins for your lightsaber by Stokie. He's another member of the FX-Sabers Forum. These are available in a couple different places. KR Sabers, Justin's channel, the Saber Bay, and I think maybe also through a couple other places. I'm not sure, but Justin's got a couple cool videos on actually how they work, how to use them in your lightsaber. Oh yeah, right here. You can get them from Stock Custom Works, from the Saber Bay, from KR Sabers. And there's links right there. You can go to FX-Sabers. That's under new ideas and technologies. It's a post by Stokie D. That's Dimitri. He always tells people with their Profi boards. On Facebook is what I hear. Anybody with a question on their Profi board, it's usually Dimitri or Frederick that will help them. They're both the most knowledgeable people on that. What I usually like to do is go into the forum gallery because there's just always like some of the coolest stuff in here. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but you know, The Last Jedi had the Praetorian Guards, which are kind of like the Crimson Guard in the comic books and stuff like that. But these are for the First Order, and Sneelam on FX-Sabers creates some really awesome, one-of-a-kind hilts. And this one's no different. This one is one of the Praetorian Guards chain whip hilt. And the way he did it on the outside looks exactly like the chain whip lightsaber from the Praetorian Guard. But the inside is something all new. It's all his creation. It's this interior chassis that some people like to do with the crystal chamber. This one just looks fantastic. This one looks awesome. It's got the recharge port. Looks like the rice port is all in there in the aluminum section. There's a brass section. He's got some light up parts, a crystal chamber. This lightsaber looks awesome. I think this one's the RGB. Let's see what it is. It's got the specs here. It's crystal focus. It's got the 2-watt bass speaker and red, green, royal blue tri-cree. So you're getting some, basically every color in the rainbow is possible. This saber looks incredible. Yeah, I love that crystal chamber. That looks really nice. That marble style crystal. Wow, it's got like a diamond in it or something. It looks like maybe it has a part of a holocron in there. Okay, I've got Michael calling in. Hey Yoda.
Hey.
How's it going?
It's going. I guess there's a delay. I'm checking the video here.
Oh, is there a delay? Maybe you want to turn down the volume of the computer and then just talk to me through the phone.
Okay, so I'm not getting an echo effect.
Yeah. So for everybody listening, I have Michael Yoda from FX-Sabers on the line, my most special, very first guest, and a really good friend of mine. And we are going to talk about FX-Sabers. Right now, I'm looking at Sneelam's Praetorian Guard lightsaber in the forum gallery.
I see that on,
I really like looking at the forum gallery stuff because that's kind of where people post their, like, you know, all their glam shots, either that or the saber custom section, which is right by there as well. It's also in the discussions. Find that. Saber modifications and customs. I really like this one too, because this one kind of not only gives you tips here, but it also has like some of the most, you know, customized type of one-of-a-kind lightsabers too. What do you usually check first when you're looking on FX-Sabers?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, I just scroll down and take a look and see what everybody's talking about at the moment.
Yeah. A lot of people talking about the CF10. I guess a lot of people got theirs already. Custom Saber Shop's been shipping those out.
Yeah. Yeah, looks like cool work. Definitely interested in trying it out there. It's a special need I had to ask her about, so I haven't gotten mine just yet, but pretty soon.
And if I don't have to guess what your CF10 will go in, it's going to go into a Graflex.
Oh yeah.
Now this is a member I've been noticing lately. I don't think I've talked to him yet. I'm not sure. Griff, he has some really cool designs. There was one I was looking at the other day that was like had a the front section looked like a Graflex. You know, it's from a Graflex, but then the rear section, the whole
Yeah, I know which one.
yeah, like the whole grip area was is kind of like an Obi-Wan, you know, episode 4 style lightsaber, and it also has like some, I don't know, some steampunk elements, I guess you could say, or some details to the Graflex part at the front that looks so cool. And this one here, that's in the forum gallery, you know, I can see some Graflex elements to this one too. Like this is actually the first time I'm looking at this one. This is pretty cool. Like it's almost got like bunny ears in the front.
Yeah, it's nice to see how far things have come over the years from the way it used to be way back when there was just people modifying and fixing their master replicas to now it's just a full-blown custom market where people are really exercising their artistic and electronic mechanical skills. People do such great work out there. It's always great to showcase cool things people are working on.
Yeah. And it's just amazing, I guess, now with like the different tools that you could get like on a consumer level, like the 3D printed stuff. Like you can get a 3D printer without, you know, having to spend $100,000 or something like that, you know, and so you can like
have a service that can print your design for you.
Yeah, or yeah, exactly. Go to Shapeways or something like that and actually get away with like a custom part for dollars instead of, you know.
There is a difference in 3D printing where there's good printing and there's just run-of-the-mill printing. Once you've had good printing, it's hard to go back. And those machines are actually very expensive.
Yeah, that's true. These are some cool details. Yeah, I like Griff's designs. They really seem like they end up being like in universe. I don't know what happened here. In universe type of look to them.
Oh, I completely agree. Especially, I like that bright red Praetorian Guard one that you were just looking at a little while ago because I had a customer a while back that we never followed through with it, but we were talking about making a bright red Ferrari Graflex.
Oh, wow.
Do like a bright red Graflex that would have been powder coated and kind of make it like a vintage there with a chrome clamp, the chrome bunny ears and D-ring, but use the buttons and put a little Ferrari logo in those and stuff with like an acrylic overlay over a black and yellow horse setup.
Yeah, like that's, you know, it's kind of hard to imagine.
If I had spare time, maybe I would do that for myself, but
that sounds crazy.
I don't have a Ferrari, so there's no point to have a Ferrari Graflex for me.
You know, it like if I didn't see that Praetorian Guard red, it'd be hard for me to imagine. But now that I've seen that, I could see it like that lacquered paint look. That would be something else.
Yeah.
This is another.
I would do some sort of dome cover over the S curve where the bunny clamp is, and make that look like a headlight.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it was gonna be cool. I might still do one for myself one day if I ever have to mess around with my own thing if it's on a prototype.
Yeah. It's like really crazy that you could allow like your imagination to run wild and make with some of these like mashups, you know. Sometimes I've seen some of the other universes like a Halo lightsaber or you know, different kind of universes mixing together, like Vader's Vault a number of years ago made that Lord of the Rings lightsaber for one of the FX-Saber members.
People that, you know, Ultra Sabers has that Thundercats looking lightsaber.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
A lot of people have taken their own personal twist, and that's what's cool about things now. You know, in the beginning, it was all about just trying to get people to build stuff reliably. Now people kind of got their reliability under control. If they don't, then they don't last long. But what's nice is that the people that do, they're building. There's just so many people out there right now building good quality stuff on, you know, not just the FX Forum, but on the RPF, TRA, and everything. Really good quality people right now, man. It's a wonderful thing to see it come this far in the technology that we've got. Although it's almost like when I lit up the Neopixel for the first time, I looked at it and I said, you know, this is like a master replicas on steroids. But the extra effects and stuff is cool, and I'll tell you, you know, me and my wife were looking at them, looking at the old regular LED, and it's kind of personal preference though, because, you know, if you drive the old LEDs right, and they're plenty bright, you can, it's an empty
Yes.
But you know, it's one of those things where I look at them both and it's like, God, it's kind of hard to have one without the other. I still like the old LED look, but I do appreciate all the new technology that's in the LED blades now. This is stuff me and Novastar and Irv and even Alex from Ultra Sabers used to talk about years ago, having programmable blades where we can make them do all this stuff, and now we're doing it. So it's these guys, you know, a lot of them out there like Shocky D, but you and Jay Coomer making up cool little LED plugs and stuff, and the guys that are out there doing the FX-Saber OS and TC and Profi, and Irv has now released the CS10. It's just, you know, it's incredible. You know, I'm sure Nigon's going to be coming out with something new here too. So,
yeah.
you know, there's so many good quality people making soundboards and making helps that the customers now have so many choices, they don't know what the hell to do.
Yeah. And I mean, it's even overwhelming to you know, the builders themselves, because so much is out there. It's hard to be an expert at all that stuff.
People that are actually caring about what they build as opposed to just the trash that it used to be so long ago. That you know, God, it's hard to even describe the way it used to be compared to what it is now. It's literally a jump from the corded telephone to the cell phone.
Yeah, well, it had to come from there. It had to come from there and get to here. And
oh yeah.
Wow, it's like a wild world with this stuff.
But what's nice is you got people like both Irv and Nigon who've been in it for a long time, and you can see their progress and watch what they've done. And yes, there's a lot of new people in the game, but you know, these guys built the wheel as far as the electronics are concerned, especially with Irv, and even before back to Hyperdyne and stuff. You know, there are a lot of people that laid the groundwork for what's going on, and you know, even Master Replicas did what they did, and everybody. God, now people are tearing apart all those Galaxy Edge lightsabers.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I saw some.
If you're gonna go to Galaxy's Edge and buy a lightsaber, there, keep it the way it is, and have it for the nostalgia of having that unit and build your own custom thing. You know, you buy enough parts from custom saber shops, you look like whatever you want.
That's true, and it would be a lot thinner. You could choose from the V2, the MHS V2, and have it be even thinner. Those Galaxy's Edge lightsabers, they looked a little big for especially like a child's hand. I mean, anybody's hand. They look a little thick.
Because see, the thing is, what most people don't realize is we put soundboard, or not we, but I still try and build my chassis with enough room for the electronics to vent the heat and all stuff. There's a lot of stuff out there 3D printed, and it's really tight fitting right now that people like Disney and stuff, they can't get away with that, because you have to have, when you're building something for a mass market, there has to be a certain level of safety that's always built into the product, and that's why those things are so big. It's not because they wouldn't want to make them smaller, but because what they're trying to run and the technology they need to pop that crystal in and out and stuff, it's for the masses. It's dumbed down from what they, you know, in the very beginning, my whole point with Master Replicas was trying to take the LE lightsabers and turn them into the crystal chamber things like we've got now. And what's great is that the community just did it on its own. You know, I mean, it's like you get the wheel rolling. I mean, the first examples that people looked at and said, yeah, we're going to take this to run. And God, they've just done such a good job, all these people, you know, even people that I compete with again, you know, they make great stuff. I can't knock anybody right now. I'm just glad that it's come to where it's come.
Yeah. Like, is that what you first started with, was the Master Replica Graflex style lightsaber, or did you first use like a vintage Graflex shell when you were playing around or trying to make your interior, trying to make your crystal chamber?
Oh no, the way that worked out was I did have a Parks Graflex replica that was an EL unit, but it was old. I kind of got it secondhand, and I had seen someone trying to do vintage conversions, and the one that like I said, there was a lot of people peddling trash out there before, and I had established a relationship with Jeff Parks a while back early on in the Howard Rothman days, when he was making episode 1 hilts and stuff, and the thing was is he was just, filling a Graflex like Master Replica did with just a battery pack and a speaker and stuff. I really wanted to put the crystal chamber in. So for some reason, I had seen all those cutaways, and I had done a couple cutaways myself, and I was like, this would be great if it actually worked. And that's, you look at the FX-Saber Forum and the evolution of the chassis there, where it shows that it's a lot of the same thing repeated, just minimal changes, but it's evolving it to my specifications, where there's a lot of cool stuff. But the nice thing about my chassis is it's built like a radio control car chassis, and 9 times out of 10, if you want to slide some little sleeves in there to hold the batteries, you just beat the hell out of these things, and they'll be okay. I mean, I've always built my Graflexes so you can deal with them, because I like to deal with them, but most people don't.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about that is the chassis, the way it came about was the History Channel was on, and they were talking about the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and I had been working on a flat system for creating the chassis to go inside, and that's when I had changed to a tubular system, because I looked at it and I thought, if that building can stand for a long time, I need to take this type of ladder frame setup and turn it into a tube, and that's pretty much where that came from. It was about 3-4 o'clock in the morning. I was up doing my thing and talking to people, because at first, I was just helping people fix their master replicas, and the original FX-Saber site was created by Courtney Cruz, who is actually still, I think, Big Dog 01 on the site, if you look far back enough. He had it for about 6 months. He was just trying to help people find some information about buying them, period, because there wasn't anything out there. And this was when, the internet was relatively new. But immediately after I got there, because I had some technical skill and stuff, and people were dealing with them and breaking them and things, we were basically showing how people had to take them apart, fix them. And then Irv came along and decided to change a lot of that and make the soundboards better. And even before Irv, there was Corbin Doss with doing the original LED conversion with a few other people. Tim from Custom Saber Shop, now it's from Ultra Sabers, both popped on the scene along with Saber Forge, and all decided, hey, we want to make our own. And that's where FX-Sabers at the time, even though it was supporting Master Replica products, Master Replicas didn't pay me, so I decided to introduce the aftermarket with Parks and all these other people that were coming up and say, hey, here's the licensed product, and then here's the aftermarket product. And that led to a 6-year span of being legally threatened at least once a week.
Oh, man.
It's been a long road and a tough fight to get to the point where we're at right now, where Lucasfilm, they used to do their purges and stuff, and go out and coin house, and they realized it hurt. Disney realizes, I think, that would hurt them, and they can't let the fans overstep their rounds, but no one's making the money that they are. So if anything, it helps. They know than the one that they put together now.
What do you mean your theme park? The one that you imagine?
Oh yeah, no, I'd try out. This was before your time, dude.
Oh.
So many of the old Saber Guild people. You know what? Let me use my cell phone, and I will pull up a picture of it on my computer, and I will take a picture for you.
Yeah, I got some images of the what some of the Galaxy's Edge lightsabers can look like. These ones that they show as a promo do look pretty cool. They are kind of fat, kind of thick, but like you were saying, it's because it's like they're interchangeable. The shells go over the tube that's inside sort of the chassis, and that's how you're able to screw on different parts and kind of make it your own. I saw some Makoto videos that he was actually converting some of these to Makoto's system the other day. He was comparing how bright his could be to the Galaxy's Edge. His were like, I don't know, 4 or 6 times brighter.
Mm-hmm.
It was giving me like a better idea of how they really look in person. On some of the videos make me think that it's Neopixel. I'm just not sure. I think it's Neopixel of some sort because when you put in the crystal, it changes the color. So it's got to be some kind of data thing going on.
Oh, people have already torn that apart, and
they've already figured it out.
yeah, there's a whatchamacallit in there. Here you go, dude. You like these pictures? This was the theme park that I presented to the original Saber Guild or Saber Gathering meeting back in 2006, 2007, something like that. Yeah, in fact, I have a forum member that just a couple of weeks ago messaged me and said, "Hey, Yoda, I just saw the Disney made this thing. That doesn't look as cool as yours."
Oh.
Let me, here you go, dude. It's coming through on your cell phone.
Take a look at it.
Like, if they attach. Okay. I'll have to send one at a time because they're probably big. My cell phone takes big pictures. I think they're okay. This is my original Star Wars theme park concept.
Oh, there you go. Making it kind of like, can I try to show this? Can I try to show?
Oh
this?
yeah, please do.
Let me see.
Because, you know, the problem with this, dude, is my old one of my I've gone through numerous Darth Vaders, and thankfully our actual Darth Vader now is the guy that I've known since 2005 in the forum first time. But anyway.
So this reminds me of Epcot.
Thing with this thing and building up a stuff. I was hit me and one of the guys I knew from when I was working doing stuff for Virgin Megastore. We were trying to present a similar idea to Mr. Wynn out in Vegas. This thing was supposed to be out in Vegas because that thing was huge.
Oh, I see. I'm going to show this one, which a second ago I showed the part that's the Death Star that looked like almost like Epcot from that view, and from this view, it's like the center of the park.
Yeah.
With different worlds, different lands around it.
Yeah, so, all the episodes circle the Death Star.
See, you know what your mistake was here? You included all the episodes. And do you know, in the actual Galaxy's Edge Park, the reason why they're not including all the episodes is because they got to give Lucas a kickback. That's why people don't see too much Luke stuff and Yoda stuff and the characters from the original trilogy is because whatever they own.
At the time that this was created, Disney didn't own Star Wars, way before Disney owned Star Wars. This was like 2006, 2007 when we all first got together and I showed everybody. Shit. This is way before Disney. This is at least 6 years before Disney, easily, if not more.
What would in this design? What would be contained in the Death Star, in the half Death Star part of it?
Okay, so you can see all the descriptions for my other stuff. You're right. I did not send you the description for the Death Star. I guess I could do that, or I could just explain it.
Or you could explain it. Is that the casino? Is that like a huge casino in there or something?
The Death Star itself was going to have 6 IMAX theaters in the bottom.
Oh my God.
That's how big it is.
Look at this thing. This is incredible.
6 IMAX theaters in the bottom. And they would play episodes 1 through 6 all the time.
You know what would be crazy?
They would continuously play all the episodes.
Oh, that's incredible.
Now, the next deck above that is a virtual 3D game area where there are TIE fighters and X-Wings all lined up against each other. And you get to pilot a TIE fighter or an X-Wing, and you're fighting, like a 3D game.
Yeah.
But the projection is on a water screen that's like a waterfall. So it's like a 3D hologram that the passers-by, everyone else can watch what you're doing.
That's like in the water mist.
Projection. But the most important part of the Death Star is at the very top, and it's a restaurant called Neo, Near Earth Objects. And that's what the whole park was about for me was, the restaurant would have a huge holographic projection on the top of the restaurant showing all of the asteroids and bullshit that's flying around that are that could annihilate mankind on Earth. And the whole point of the park was to take all of the fantasies of Star Wars and show how it relates to real life. Where, like in the Sith area there for Episode 3, how they are building Darth Vader, it would just be filled with, Darth Vader and real life prosthetics and stuff. What is it that we're doing that Star Wars has already shown us how to do, and all the scientists, people are catching up with it. And of course, you'd have like your speeder bike ride and your theme park roller coasters for the pod racing and stuff. So it would all be very cool, but it would all be very educational. And, Disney's completely missed the mark on that.
Oh, man.
That's why,
Yeah, I mean, to have like a Star Wars theme park that's kind of like the Smithsonian combining both worlds. That's wild. It's almost too big of an idea for them, I guess, because what they came out with, it doesn't even include. It's not even all inclusive for all the episodes like you thought of here. It's mostly they are like solidly saying that it's like the Rey, Kylo, episode 7 and 8 and 9 time frame. And, even when you're going in to build your lightsaber in Galaxy's Edge, they're saying, this is the time of Rey. We have to escape the First Order. This is a secret because of that. Whereas your park, it includes
they're
every
confined
bit.
to the rights. And when I first conceived of the theme park, I figured out that Disney owns the rights to theme parks worldwide.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. Magic Mountain, everybody pays Disney something for some bit of it.
Whoa.
If you develop a theme park, it'll eventually be like that to Disney. But hey, if someone's going to run the world, I'd rather be a small world and Thumper's in charge. If you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all.
Yeah. That's kind of how we like to be on FX-Sabers too, because it's a family place, and we want, it's not the place to be putting people down.
On Facebook.
Yeah, if you want to put people down and it's not the place for that. It's the place to show all the coolest.
If you got something to archive, you want to show, talk about it, have it last, and people be able to come back and reference it years from now. Chances are FX is going to be there.
Yeah. And it's the best place to go for all the tips. Like I was telling people on my last broadcast that it's like you can talk to Irv, who makes the crystal focus and everything, Plector Labs. When you ask a question, it could be Irv answering the question. Oftentimes he is the first one to get to the Plector Labs questions.
Yeah, it's nice to see people like Irv and Mad Cow and even Vader Result and LDM and everybody kind of come back around and answer questions and stuff. It's good to have the old gang back because they helped set the stage along with me for a lot of stuff that was going on. They were the people that stepped up to the plate and were able to produce products that were safe and reliable and worked for their customers. And they were also concerned about, the authenticity of the way things looked. And they were good Star Wars fans and stuff. And they're really helping, they're all moving things forward in their own way, even though we all don't get together as much as we used to. But hopefully I'll get to see everybody in Celebration 10 or whatever is coming up.
What's that, 2020?
Yeah, I'm going to try and make it to Anaheim and hang out with everybody. But you didn't drop me, did you?
No, I'm still here. Just pulling up another image of one of your Graflexes. This is the Empire Strikes Back version. Is it not, or is this the Force Awakens style?
I don't know. I don't know what you're looking at.
Oh, okay. This is the
computer, so I don't echo.
Oh, I see. I'm looking at it's a chassis that looks quite similar to mine, with the rivets and the slot furnace style ESB card.
Oh, that would have been.
Oh, this is it's actually a post from Darth Smorgas, yeah.
Recently, yes. No, I'm working on. Tell Mega Chief I said, hey. Oh, I'm sorry. I was staying away from the computer, guys. Anyone said hello? I'm saying hi back.
Oh. Hopefully they can hear okay with the way I have you on the phone here.
Okay.
I got you right next to the mic, so hopefully that's okay. Yeah, I just love the
Hey, DC.
Is DC there too? Is he in Facebook?
I don't know. No, this is the Force Awakens. This one had a multiple thing. It came with multiple parts to Change of the Hill.
Oh yeah, I can see the different ones. Yeah.
Back and forth. I know people bitch and complain that for my Empire Strikes Back hilts, I use the rivets as opposed to the actual screws. The hex had, just Phillips screws. But 99.9% of my customers don't want those fucking screws.
Oh.
They want rivets because it looks better.
Yeah.
I am working on a vintage though with the Neopixel and the system I've been working on with the prism that I'm going to put up, which is in a vintage. It's got regular screws in it. It's got the other screws on top. So it's probably not a full more Graflex, but it looks all the part of ESB. So.
See, I like the rivets you did for me. They have the sound holes, which is so cool. I think the sound, it's enhanced when the bottom canister is on. It's really cool.
When it opens up,
yeah.
That's why I like just using the rivets where I cut them down and drill it out. But people that want I've been making accurate hilts for over 15 years. What I build and sell on eBay is more idealized, so sometimes it's not always 100% accurate, but it's what the customer is asking for me. You know, if someone comes to me and they want me to build it, I ask them, what do you want me to make the hilt look like? And this is what they want. And that's why I sell it that way. Because if I make something too screen accurate, people are like, oh, that looks like ass. I don't want that. I don't want that. You know, I try to idealize it a little bit. It keeps me from getting in trouble, too.
Yeah, I was just looking for, you mentioned DC. I saw a holocron he was working on Instagram, and I think
Oh, yeah, I did. I saw the holocron. He posted it on the forum and stuff, too. Very cool looking. They dig it. Holocrons are always cool. In fact, all he's got to do is add a charging USB port to it and add some music to it.
Yeah, well, maybe his it's like the other thing he made, which is a saber stand. I'm gonna pull up an image of that.
That's right. You know what he's got to do is take that saber stand and shove the holocron in it somehow.
Yeah, or maybe the holocron's gonna sit on it.
The Jedi or Sith holocron and make it removable from the saber stand, and the saber stand will interact with it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe something like that's going to happen because I saw him answering someone's question, and I think it was on the forum earlier, and they were asking, you know, what else is it going to do? And he said, well, it's going to have a couple surprises. So we'll see.
Yeah, he's got some good ideas. It's cool. I like seeing all the big stuff people come up with and everything. Very cool.
Yeah, DC's the one that made my personal saber. It's super awesome. I call it the Jedi Assassin. He did such a great job on it.
And then we worked so hard making all this cool stuff, and now we get the nutcracker for the Dark Ray.
Oh, yeah.
Remember I was telling you the other day about one that could spring back together? I saw someone online the other day showing one that sprung back together, but they were holding it toward the bottom so their fingers didn't get smashed.
Oh.
Talking about
Dark Ray. Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see how that all works out there. I don't know about all this time travel, world between world stuff playing into it, ruining our.
Yeah, you know, it's like
view of Star Wars and the Force, but
yeah, I don't know. You know, so many things seem to be happening in this last movie. I'm just not sure all of them are going to happen. You know, we hear this time travel thing. I'm hearing now we're seeing this Dark Ray. We're hearing people say, is this a flashback or is this a Force vision? I heard a few crazy things today on a video by Geeks and Gamers about like a plot leak, you know, basically breaking down everything about episode 9 or almost everything. They said it could be like 90% accurate, the stuff that was said on Geeks and Gamers. If anyone wants to go check it out, I'm not going to like say the spoilers here, but you know, it just seems like they want to do a lot. They want to go to so many places in the movie. They want to do so many things. How many of them could actually be there in the movie? It seems like it would be a long movie if they were going to do it all.
I love the little mime somebody made with the folding lightsaber on and the Swiss Army knife thing. Like
Yeah.
How
wild is that?
Of all the things that a lightsaber can do, having a little hinge down there like that,
It's like when we were talking on the phone. I think it was yesterday or the other day. We were.
There it is. You just folded it.
Yeah.
That thing's sweet. Like I told you before, and I told other people that have talked to me, Star Wars has been about making the fantasy real, where we can achieve it. It's a long time ago, a galaxy far, far away. It's not a bunch of hokey other stuff that isn't necessary. We didn't need all these other things. It was about the struggle of their ability to go to light speed, come back and forth. We didn't have to complicate it with a bunch of
Yeah.
stuff. I don't know. It does seem that Disney is taking some of the realism away that so many of us that are older that appreciated it when we were young. It's taking some of that away, and we have to find. But now they may reintroduce it. I mean, Rogue One was right along those lines.
Yeah.
I think the Obi-Wan stuff that they might do, that's probably the Mandalorian looks good.
Yeah.
It's not that they can't do it. It just it almost seems like with the Marvel movies and Star Wars, Disney wants to wrap up the movies. I'm on the phone, Hal. Sorry, my neighbor.
That's okay.
I'm sorry, guys. My neighbor can't. And there goes the dog. Oh my God. This is why Yoda doesn't get lightsabers.
Yeah, they those other sort of properties, the Mandalorian and the Obi-Wan show, look like that could be along the same lines as like a Rogue One.
Yeah, it totally could.
Yeah.
I don't, like I said, after, I hate to say it, after we finally rented the DVD so I could watch Marvel Endgame,
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect episode 9 to be any different.
Mm. Yeah, I mean,
for some reason Disney wants to wrap up what they spent on acquiring Marvel and Lucasfilm. It has nothing to do with screwing things up. It's just they're trying to wrap it up somewhere. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I totally don't know.
yeah. I mean, it's so far along now.
Where Rey is the Skywalker, and they throw her back in time, and she is the father of Darth Vader. It's Marty McFly all over again, and we're just missing a DeLorean. I don't know. That kind of freaks me out. It hurts me because when I first got into some of the guys that wanted lightsabers and stuff, I had so many people coming back from the military that crap, one of my good Darth Vaders a while back, that when we needed a real enforcer for all these crazy people that came around and just wanted to argue, he was ex-military, and poor guy, he got his leg blown off.
Oh my God.
He was a good Vader for a long time. Deanna replaced him. She didn't become Vader, but she replaced him for a little while as the enforcer. And now our Vader is just supreme, where he just, no, I'll delete you.
Really?
No. Our Vader right now is one of the original creators of the SMF software, as far as I know. Or he is part of the original group. And he actually helped us a long time ago, back in 2005, and we wound up finding him again. And yeah, he's a great guy, man. He's really, you've seen some of his posts in the council and stuff. He's got a lot of family stuff going on, but Vader's, our new Vader's good Vader.
Yeah. He's in the background doing all the tech stuff for the website, right?
He's in the background killing everything that comes towards us.
Now, you must have been excited when like episode 7 before it came out, and you must have caught wind that they had the Graflex in the movie, right?
Oh yeah, I got some leaks. Well, before episode 7 even was coming out, me and a few other people were getting contacted by a few Disney people asking about sabers and stuff and technology and things, and I won't go into it. But the people that were involved will know. They hear this. They did their own thing. But yes, the Graflex was coming back, and like I told Brian with the VERGE video and stuff that everybody's seen. I'm sitting there in the theater. I was like, oh my God, I gotta get home. I gotta go to work. Start building Graflexes. It really became a whirlwind after that, especially that one that sold for the amount of money that it did. All of the, God, every week I had news crews. I was just getting bombarded by people showing up, wanting to do interviews and all this kind of stuff, and it was a lot. And at the same time, I was actually talking with a group of people that were looking into licensing and stuff. I got so wrapped up in trying to get everything done with what was being thrown at me that it just took a toll on me. And after my interview, I wound up in the hospital. My lungs were bleeding.
Oh man.
Yeah, if I could stop having these damn health problems, I'd be a lot further along than I am. Sorry. Yeah, it really it was strange.
It's almost like there wasn't really a waning interest in the Graflex, but when those images came out, when the trailer came out for episode 7, I mean, it's like a renewed interest came for the Graflex, and everyone that kind of didn't know this is the original lightsaber were reminded, or were told that this was the original lightsaber. And look, it's even in the new trilogy. That was something I don't think anyone could kind of predict that type of surge in the popularity that occurred in like 2014, 2015 for this, like just the anticipation.
Parks wasn't ready for it, because Parks and I throughout the early 2000s and mid run there used to talk about riding the Star Wars wave, and look at what he and Corbanther have been having to put together over years. They used to run all their stuff to the forum. If it wasn't for my forum, they didn't sell anything. And now they're all on Facebook. Nobody sucks, but
well, before Facebook got popular with adults, it was just the forums. It was just the forums where you could go and talk about lightsabers and kind of get the tips that you needed to build your own lightsaber.
Early on, before I even took over FX from, it was like 2 or 3 months after it started. I was just posting a bunch of topics and stuff, and me and a few other people were really plugging away at it. I had gone around to the other places because the internet was small back then. It wasn't just everybody just popped something up for themselves. Back then, you had to have respect or they'd come shut you down. But I checked with Rebel Scum, and back when the RTF, I think Brian still owned it before Art took it over back then. I mean, that's how long ago it was. And even the Force.net, I was like, hey guys, looking at, I'm going to take this forum over, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to, it was originally, it's a support forum for Master Replicas, but we got to talk about the aftermarket. All these people want saber information. They were like, have at it, man, we don't want to deal with this. everybody fighting and stuff. They're ridiculous. But now, look at them all. They all just make some awesome shit. And
Yeah.
there's no better, yes, I know my sabers sell expensively and stuff, but I don't make that many. It's not like I'm banging these out once a week. It takes me a month to make this last one I'm working on right now. It's ridiculous, but it has to go out right. It can't fail. It can't have any problems. It's got to be reliable. It's got to work. It's like Yoda said, the true burden of all masters, watch everybody else do better than you did.
Well, it's like to do that
Or at least,
hand-built stuff, you
maybe
have
they
to do
make
it by
more money.
hand.
That's why I live on Dagobah.
Yeah. you're in
Brian said
hiding.
someone looked like Dagobah. Yeah. I'm looking out the window. I disagree.
Well, there's not a swamp outside your window.
No. Just some weeds that need to be trimmed. I need to get rid of some crap. With all my lung issues, I don't go out and mess with stuff too much anymore. So, crap, we're live. I shouldn't talk about this. I'm sorry, guys.
Anything's
Anyway,
okay.
back to all the good Star Wars stuff there. Yeah, you know what? All for whatever Disney's dealing with this, but I am. It seems strange they're trying to wrap it up and close it out. I'm sure, obviously they're going to do other stuff, Mandalorian, Obi-Wan, but they're going to force everybody to watch their streaming stuff, and
Yeah.
that's kind of weird. They better bring movies back. If I was Disney, the smartest thing they could do is go back in time. Just leave it where it's at because it's a mess.
Yeah.
Go back in time and start telling the story that came before the prequels. Go back to the ancient Jedi and stuff. That would be cool stuff. I think people would be.
That's what I love. Because when I see someone make believe me, I love basically all custom sabers, but when I see people making the ones that look
like the one Griff just made. That is a total ancient Jedi kind of custom saber. There's so many people like
I love that time
and all these
frame.
other guys, man. There are a lot of Darth Chasms there at DC. There have been a few of them. Harp always makes some awesome stuff.
Yeah.
That has a unique look to it. Now that it just there's a lot of cool stuff out there that people can draw on, and of course, they all have to funnel it through Sloth Furnace there, so it makes it into a game.
Yeah. Like the Black Mamba.
Man. He's a talented guy. Brad's a cool guy.
Yeah. Like how he put the Black Mamba in the Old Republic game.
How he has tolerated making circuit cards all this time. Doesn't matter. Lightsabers and stuff is cool. What Brad does is tolerate making circuit cards for everybody for all this time.
he makes my favorite kind. I have some of his circuit cards waiting here that I'm going to do something special with, and I just love Brad's work all around. His designs, his lightsabers. One of the first ones I saw of his was the Derelict, and that has like a Graflex frontal part, like the emitter part, just like one of Griff's more recent designs. And I mean, this was just the originator of cutting a Graflex up and making something else out of it. I never saw anything like that before I saw Brad's, and that was just such an inspiration to some of the builds I was doing early on. I just loved his drawings. Like when my friend Jason sent me his Black Mamba to be installed, and included in the box was Brad's sketch. Yeah. Included in that box was a sketch of it from Brad, and it was, oh wow, because I love to draw, and just to see the premier BioWare Star Wars artist work right in my hands, real as life, as big as life. You could unroll it and see it. It was bigger than the saber itself, and that was really cool. All the detail in it, and then to see what Ace Rocket did to take that and to make that into what it became. It was so close. It was so close to the drawing. You know, only a few people got to see the both together, because I think only five of these lightsabers were made, maybe 7, but one of them was for Brad, one of them was for the machinist Ace Rocket, and then 5 for customers. And so not many people got to see it in person, you know. But something special to see Brad's design.
And all the exposed detail and stuff. And that's what kind of the inside out lightsaber right there.
I would say so. Yeah, very cool.
It's nice that the way he was using all the braided sleeving and the piping and stuff like that. Braided sleeving is difficult to use.
Yeah.
It really, braided sleeving, it can be messy. It's hard to get it to fit right and stuff. And they did a good job. I know you had to work with it and stuff. So.
Yeah, I love those braided sections. I want to incorporate that into like a crystal chamber that I want to make one day, or something where you can see through a window of the lightsaber and get a lot of conduits. Like, I know Darth Chasm made a post on FX-Sabers, like how to do the conduit. So he explains to you how to do it in one of the how-to posts there. He's probably got a video that relates that on YouTube as well. I think his name on YouTube is DC Saberhood, and he has some cool tutorials. One of them being that conduit tutorial, which is something I do want to incorporate on one of my own designs. Like you said, I did work with it with the Black Mama. But
the spiral one.
Yeah.
Spiral line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bought some of that extra, and I'm just kind of keeping it in my pocket to kind of use somewhere. I really think that's cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. Nifty techniques like that help people achieve a cool look without a lot of work, but
Without the
obviously
exposed wires.
Skill to do it, but it puts them in the role they can do it themselves. I know you'll probably look on your Graflex and you see those little pieces of braided sleeving in that little half-inch section. That's a pain.
Yeah.
It's not unravel. You got to really shrink that down, and doing the conduit and stuff like that can add a detail where something else that's more difficult is becoming problematic. Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, like it's another option, like how you hire, like how you are hiding your wires in the support tubes. If you had a different kind of design for your lightsaber, you could use those malleable braided tubes to hide your wires. You know, because sometimes, like on a Kylo Ren, you want to see the wire because he has a wire on the outside, and sometimes you don't want to see the wire. You know, like sometimes on a Darth Vader, they like to have the little wires on the outside is a detail of the Darth Vader. But sometimes you want to have a different detailing with the tubing.
Yeah, and you also have to be. That's another thing that I incorporate into lightsaber design is that you want it to be sensible. Because if you have a bare wire running right next to your crystal chamber, you know, for all intents and purposes, that would melt.
Yeah.
So you should hide it, and you should hide it with a stylish way. Like the spiral line, like Chasm was showing there, or sleeving or something that adds style and incorporates some sort of mechanical look as well, as opposed to just a bare wire running through something.
Yeah, like I could almost imagine, like it actually occurred on this Black Mamba, but I can imagine on a certain design, let's say you have the emitter where there's a button that you want to put so far forward that it's past your RGB LED. I know Mad Cow does this all the time in a different way. He actually has like a channel for like his Genesis Custom Saber Ascend lightsaber. But if you wanted to put your button even farther forward, you could have an exposed like braided part, maybe running through a channel, and the wires through the braided section, and then you effectively have like a button like an inch forward of where you normally could have a button, just because you kind of decided to make a design aesthetic decision to put something on the outside, like Kylo Ren.
It's similar to what I used to do with the Obi-Wan Phantom Menaces when I used to make those, where you don't have a lot of room. You got to get to that red button. You got to get to that gold sleeved tire valve and stuff. Shove a button under there and still have it light up above it, light up below it, and all that stuff. Mad Cow's gotten good at making those thin, shallow channels to run micro buttons and stuff like that. And so he's done some cool stuff there, along with his awesome tutorial video.
Yeah, he's the face of the Custom Saber Shop. So anybody that watches the Custom Saber Shop tutorial videos, that's Rob. That's Mad Cow. Yeah. He's in both his videos. He always shows new sound fonts. He shows things that he's doing in his shop. He has a custom spaceship shop, and he also has videos on the Custom Saber Shop where he's kind of the face of the Custom Saber Shop, I guess, because Tim's super busy with the making of each product, and the amount of products on like that Tim has to deal with. I can't even imagine, just starting with the screws, just starting with the different materials for blades. I mean, he has to have day blades, photon blades, enhanced blades, clear blades, anything you could think of. He's got to manufacture or somehow find those products. It's like a nightmare.
I remember back when it was thin-walled and thick-walled blades.
Yeah. It's like, do you want a dual or don't you?
And we were experimenting with the light polycarbonate.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think? Does this look any good? Oh.
But yeah, I mean, with the right blade.
Single LEDs.
Yeah, but with the right blade, I mean, like you were saying before, when you turn on your Neopixel for the first time, it looked a certain way, but you're still happy with the standard LED. I mean, if you pair your standard LED with the blade that looks good with it, with whether or not you have film in it or however you built the blade, I mean, it can look like a laser. It looks so good.
That's really the trick there, is that the Neopixel right now has one look to it. And you and I will experiment with some other stuff on that, but with a LED hilt, flashlight style saber, you have numerous blades. You have the solid white. You got my dog barking like crazy. I'm sorry.
Sounded like a dog fight.
You've got the clear film, and then you've got like the Corbin film. You can create multiple looks with just an in-hilt LED.
Yeah.
Which is cool. The Neopixel is kind of limited to one look right now. I know I kind of touched on you with this before about doing some other things inside, and we'll talk about that later. But having this one static look to the Neopixel right now is kind of boring.
Well, with the effects that are on the Profi and with the CF10,
you can have as many effects as you want, but if the blade itself is just a solid milky white and there's nothing else going on there, it doesn't look different. That's one of the nice things about the old Corbin film. A lot of people don't like it anymore, but a lot of my customers have a lot of money. They're like, well, I like the old Corbin film because it looks like a laser beam in the middle of the hill. It's just a different look to it.
I think so too.
It's not about having something that is, 100% screen accurate for everybody. It's about what did they envision what a lightsaber would look like. And when you have different effects and different looks for blades, that will definitely something worth looking at for all of the Neopixel stuff. Something that is something that looks different.
Yeah, one of my favorite effects on these new ones is like the Profi does it. I'm certain the CFX will probably have a setting for this too, or a blade profile. But it's when you first turn the lightsaber on. Let's say your blade is blue. You first turn the lightsaber on. It ignites. It quickly rises up the pixel, a tube, but it also flashes white for a second. So it's like ignition, flash of white, and then the blade appears in whatever color.
Yeah, but that's all
cool.
still contained within a blade that has that's white.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm talking about is like going back to a clear blade with different types of films inside that could make the Neopixels look different, look better, or have variations on it. That's kind of what I'm thinking. People are gonna have to start looking towards, because otherwise this is going to get monotonous, like Master Replicas did.
Yeah, and it's still the power of the regular standard LED is still so mega. It's like it's so good, and with all the different types of blades that people could make, like you're saying, sometimes with a Corbin film or sometimes with different materials, they just look really, really good. My lightsaber that I have from JQ with I think it's like a BBW in it, blue white.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Like when I turn it on, I can't tell that it's not as bright as a Neopixel. It's done right. It's done in the way that the standard LED should be, and it's bright as can be, and it looks like a laser beam because the blade matches. I have like 3 or 4 different blades, and when I put one blade in, it looks different than another, but I have one that looks amazing, so that's the kind of pairing you need to do. I know sometimes when you have like a red lightsaber, maybe that's different. You might want to make the blade slightly different. I don't know. It just kind of depends. Or maybe it's the lens,
exactly.
the lens that you're using there too matters.
Exactly. It gives you a different look, a different style, where the Neopixel is not providing what different blades could before. And I think it will, though. I think there will be different stuff.
Well, you know what JB Kuma's got going on? Jason, he brought over to my house. I think he has a video of it too. But he brought over like a satchel to my house, and it was full. It was kind of like when I sent you your blade, and it had the black case. He had a black case with shoved a bunch of blade innards in it that he was sliding. He could slide into different tubes. So it's kind of like what you're talking about. He's kind of got like a prototype going of he could put it in an enhanced color tube. He could put it in a different diffusion type of tube. It's just for him to play around with. It's not like he's got this product available, but it's a neat thing to have one Neopixel blade innard, because it's expensive to have the different Neopixel blades. It could be hundreds of dollars by the time you have a bunch of different ones, but to have one that you could slide into different blade tubes is something he's kind of working on. He's kind of playing around.
Having an internal sleeve with different effects on the tube, that would be interesting.
Yeah, he's kind of got that going. It's like it's like a 3/4 blade that he slide. It's got contained all the Neopixels, and he slides that into different 1-inch blades. It's pretty neat. It's pretty neat.
That's possible.
But I mean, Jason's full of crazy ideas, great ideas. I think if he had a team of 20 engineers behind him, he could feed them ideas to keep him busy for a year.
We had a team of 20 engineers behind us.
That's true.
It would be.
Oh, look here, I'm looking at Rob's Ascend, and I see our friend Jedi Seth came up under the search because I guess he's got a video. He's got a video of that. Jedi Seth was a guest on Saber Talk one time. He's also a member of FX-Sabers.
Who?
Jedi Seth. Oh, I had a picture.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, who knows what, we got the Switchblade lightsaber. I don't know what we're going to get next as far as... But I think if we go back to the ancient Jedi, they can't play these games. I mean, can they play these games with all the different lightsabers? It would just be nice just to standard lightsabers and make the story stronger. We don't need stronger lightsabers. We need stronger stories.
Yeah, some of that is true. But, Disney's going to do what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And, it's okay. It's not what everybody wants, but so far it's not, they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah, there's one, we were talking about Neopixel a second ago. There's this one thread on FX-Sabers. It just says when you have an issue with your Neopixel lightsaber, the first thing you should do is charge the lightsaber, because so many things could begin to go wrong when the saber's not powered properly. Not like, let's say it has the wrong battery in it, or let's say it's just a weak battery, or the battery's not charged. It becomes.
Oh yeah.
It could provide a host of issues. That's one cool thing about the standard LED is that usually you get a bunch more runtime on those, a bunch more, and you're not kind of seeing those issues when the battery runs low. When the battery runs low on a standard LED saber and it actually dies, the saber just dies. It usually works about the same, maybe with some diminished brightness just at the very end. But the way lithium-ion batteries work, as you know, is they really have that level where it's going to remain at a certain level. It's not like the NiCad or the nickel metal hydride where there was a steadier drop of the power along the way. These are just holding at a certain level until they just literally just drop off because of the protection is a part of the protection circuit. I'm not sure just the way lithium batteries work, but.
Well, they hold their voltage higher for longer than traditional batteries do. And, depending on how much power you're pulling, it's very hard to say with the variations with Neopixels right now. Some people can be driving them really hot. Some can be driving them moderately. Boy, that is a large range to think of there for what. I think I like your system that you were working on with me with the Graflex, and we were just picking color from the wheel that Plucker Labs had set up, and so it's dividing the color equally amongst the 3 pixels, but at the same time, anybody that knows what they're doing, they can take those same values and bump them up. One of my concerns lately has just been the difference between running a saber up to 10 amps versus running a saber between 10 to 20 or 15 to 20 amps. That's a lot more heat. You need bigger wires, and some people are going to maybe find out things catch on fire down the road. And we don't want that. Tim has already posted numerous things about the wire he carries and stuff. As long as people are careful and they just don't build it and turn around and sell it before testing it for long enough. I mean, look at, you've been testing my Graflex for a year. I still haven't sold a Neopixel setup yet. I'm just getting ready to do it because I really wanted to check it out before it goes into someone else's hands. And not everybody does that. Maybe that's one of the things that they don't like about FX or me, because I just ask that people do their due diligence, and I don't know.
Yeah, it's almost like the Neopixels are like
Well,
hungry.
I'll tell you right now. We'll end this argument right now. If you go to Galaxy's and you buy a lightsaber, it's not as bright as your Neopixel, right?
No.
There's a reason for that. You know why?
Why?
Because Disney will tailor the brightness of their blade so it doesn't hurt anybody's eyes, and they don't get sued for it. And I'm, that's one of the biggest reasons why they didn't go to the blades that we have with the removable flashlight thing. There's a lot of liability when you're at a level like Disney as opposed to all of us little guys that, you can't get blood from a turnip. With the exception of maybe a few people like Ultra Sabers or Saber Forge, but they have good lawyers in place. I know this because I dealt with them way before we ever got to this point. And yes, you can make a lightsaber super bright, but A, you're pushing your electronics really hard, you're creating a lot of heat, and B, maybe this isn't the safest thing to put in the hands of a customer. A lot of people don't always consider that.
Yeah.
I hate to be the, downer right there, but if it's your own personal thing, by all means, pump it up so that you're staring at the headlight of a car. But if it's so bright that it's giving people headaches or it's causing retinal damage, there's a certain level that Disney won't go beyond. And Master Replicas didn't go beyond because there was they have to apply a certain safety level standards that no one else even considers. Thankfully, Deanna and Alan over at Vader's Vault have listened to me over the years. And even though they push the brightness levels, they know when to pull it back.
See, the only thing I consider...
And I've, received sample hilts from Deanna from Vader's Vault. Is it brighter than your Graflex? I said, no, it's the same brightness. We're right on the same level. So.
Yeah, well, it's like that Battlefront 2 game for PlayStation. I'm not sure if it's for Xbox. It probably is too. But I had my friend over here. He was playing that game. He's like an expert at that game, and I was watching. A lot of these games. I mean, even sometimes in a movie, right? But for sure, in a game, they put like a seizure warning in the front of the game to say, people could have a seizure by playing this game. Yeah, and it's almost like sometimes like this type of stuff, our custom lightsabers can get so bright. It's almost like the same type of thing. I mean, when I was watching him play, there's certain parts he was good with Yoda. He's like an expert with Yoda. He even posts some videos to my channel of his playing as Yoda.
We're talking about the same thing. The Galaxy's Edge lightsaber is like Master Replicas. It's not much brighter.
Yeah, because
the TV screen, if anything, a little less, because they don't. It's not that the technology doesn't exist, but the aftermarket and the Star Wars fans, the community, will always push the technology at their own risk.
Yeah.
But that's why I don't sell sabers that are maxed out. If the user wants to pull out his SD card and crank that thing up, it's all on him.
Yeah, see, I'm into making it as bright as it can be, but I mean, me and you will lower the numbers on my side of it. The reason why I lower the numbers on a setup like I sent on your SD card was because of different reasons than what you're talking about, brightness for safety reasons, and I was concerned with like battery reasons, like preserving the battery, preserving our longevity of our runtime.
But it's nice how those two
things
together. If you preserve your battery level, typically your brightness isn't going to sear someone's retina. So.
Right.
It actually does kind of work. There, if I turn it on and I was freaked out about something, the red is a little bright, the green is a little bright, but it's not beyond a sellable level. It's close, but all the blues are just beautiful to look at.
Yeah.
Some of them are brighter than others. You get that safety blue that he had sent me and stuff, and it all works out well. Where it's like, oh, this is a nice bright saber. I can enjoy playing with it. I can use it for a little while without getting a headache because it's so bright. And it's, like I said, it's not that we can't do it.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about a billion, trillion-dollar company like Disney, and they could have more lawsuits in 1 year for people having blades that are too bright and they're fucking with their kids' eyes and all kinds of stuff than our entire saber aftermarket has made financially over the past 10 years. Because of the size of the company and the liability that they have and stuff. And people don't think about that. And, I've always thought about it because I've always been after actual licensing, but like I told you before, we use lithium-ion batteries. Never going to happen.
Yeah. Well, that's actually one of the reasons why I always try to be very careful when I'm working with a standard LED lightsaber, and even with the 3 and 5 millimeter LEDs, and even with the Neopixel, I wear UV protection. I wear sunglasses. Like they're like a safety glasses, but they're also sunglasses. Because when you're working,
it's always best to do something to protect your eyes.
Yeah.
I assure you, I have.
Because when you fire one of these up, forget it. I mean, it's so bright.
Seeing yellow spots for the next 6 hours.
Yeah. And those standard LEDs are powerful.
People don't always think about that.
Yeah. And you've been dealing with the standard LED for 15 years or more, and that is way more powerful than on its own when you look directly at it, which you never want to do.
A bare Neopixel compared to staring into the chasm where the LED is located, shining this beam at you. Oh yeah, I assure you, there's nothing that hurts more than having some bright LED staring you right in the face. Like
directly into your brain.
You're looking at it saying, well, is that blue just as bright as the blue next to it? Let me take a look.
Yeah.
Why did I do that? We've all done it. We've all worked on stuff because we're like, oh my God, my customer's paying a lot of money. I need to make sure this thing is 100% right. I don't care what happens to me. It's got to be good for him. And that's what's cool about the saber community is that most of us that build stuff, we're totally about our customers getting the best thing they can.
Yeah.
Whether it's for me, you, anybody out there, we have at least gone, the majority of us, and I'll say it again, people that are on FX-Sabers, the RPF, and the Rebel Army, this is a group of people that care about their customers. And I would include the Custom Saber Shop Forum, but Tim's Forum is about customer service.
Yeah.
Technically, I think it's not about always the community bitching, complaining, talking to each other. These 3 forums here now are where people go to get answers and stuff, and everybody is there for the right reason right now, as far as I know.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Sometimes it falls. Sometimes it happens. Look just what happened recently with SoCal Sabers, and Cal from Cal Sabers reminded myself of me 12 years ago, telling everybody, oh, this guy's in trouble and stuff, but it's not what you think. He's trying to help him, trying to bring him out. There's a lot of stuff going on out there that people aren't aware of, people are throwing their money at and stuff, and the more informed people are, the better off they are. And one thing interesting about a lot of my customers that are on eBay, they do kind of research me a bit, and they're like, okay, this is what he builds, this is what he does, this is what I want, and that's it. It's not, you know, I'm not gonna do some weird custom crazy build. I build a specific thing, so it's part of a collection, it's part of a display, and it's part of the heritage that has built the community, and that's all I'm trying to live up to.
Yeah. I mean, I'm so flattered when somebody thinks of me, like you were saying before. They have so many choices, and when they find me or they think of me to buy, you know, a lightsaber, or have a custom lightsaber made, or have a blade made or something. I mean, I'm just flattered because there's so many choices out there. There's a lot of people doing this type of thing now. They're all, you know, seem to be doing a great job at it.
You put everything into it, so where they get something that you yourself would hang on your own wall, and you would be ready to use it at any given point in time, and then it's not going to fail on you. You built it to your standard, which is the standard that I try to instill, that, you know, you build it so it won't fail the best you can.
Yeah.
I've seen weird solder joints out there and stuff like that. I'm like, oh my God, I would never do that. But, you know.
Well, I mean, that's how I learned. You know, that's how I learned was to take apart some stuff that wasn't put together properly. You know, that I got early on, and I'm not thinking I'm going to make custom lightsabers, but it's like early on when I wanted a custom lightsaber for myself, or a someone's, you know, kind of used lightsaber that I would maybe buy, and realize,
like, oh my God, if this is going to work right, I need to do it myself.
Yeah, and oftentimes, you know, it wouldn't arrive right, or it would stop shortly after I got it, and I'd have to end up opening it up and figuring out better ways to solder, figuring out better ways to do the interior of that lightsaber, because it just wasn't working, the way they did it.
People don't always get it. They're like, you know, well, you know, how come I don't produce more stuff? Well, I build it and then I test it for at least a week.
Yeah.
I go in, I don't beat on it or anything like that, but I plug batteries in and make sure it's physically working. I test clash, make sure that, you know, I test it for long enough that it's like, okay, this is something I would hang on my wall, and this is good to go.
Yeah.
When you're in a more production level, yeah, you have to do that faster and stuff like Vader's Vault does. But, you know, Allen, Indiana, they're very stringent about the way they test their stuff. And that's why they have a bit of a backlog sometimes, because it's like, okay, this didn't test right. We're going to shit can this, and we're going to start over with, or you know, we've got to fix, you know. So that's what's cool. Both, you know, people like I said, with Vader's Vault, and they do a lot of volume, but also Mad Cow and LDM have all followed the same premise. JQ Sabers and stuff over in London and everything, just like you've been learning, you follow this premise of I've got to build it so that way it can't come apart.
Yeah.
And then it's worth giving to a customer. Then I feel, okay, all right, I'll take the money. Because, you know, for some of us that are, you know, more artistic, it's hard to take the money sometimes, because you're just like, oh my God, is this going to work right? Is this going to make you happy, or is this going to be what you wanted?
Yeah, that's more of like
ecstatic, blown away. The best thing is that, you know, years later, it's still working. You're like, yes. It keeps, you know, I've got sabers that are more than 10 years old.
Yeah. That's a good feeling. To get somebody email you, or you see a video of your saber that working years later. That's really nice too, because then you used the best components when you built it. You know, you didn't skimp on the batteries. You got them the best battery. You got them the best components, and that's one of the things that makes it hard for a company like Vader's Vault. It makes it hard for Genesis Custom Sabers and anyone else doing that. You know, any kind of volume or any kind of work that is so centric to what the current product is, what the current circuit card is. that, like, for instance, Vader's Vault could be in the middle. They're in the middle of a couple runs right now, and then all of a sudden the technology changes.
Yeah.
You know, the technology completely changes, so they have to be willing to be like very malleable, right in the middle of this thing, to say, listen, we are going to redesign the chassis, or we are going to make sure that our components work with the new components. Maybe we have to change a lot more than we thought, but you know, they're going to get it working to the way that their standards need it to be before shipping, and that's why you say, you know, some of these things take a while. If you could check out my screen, I want to show you something about. I want to show you something in regards to those little those little RGB pixels you're using.
All right, I'm gonna refresh. Let's make sure oops, where are we? Okay, yeah. So
you'll see there's these little discs like the ones you're trying in the Graflex right now. The LED that's the pixel LED that's in the center of that disc is like in this picture over here. These are 50/50. These are 50/50 size. So that's like the size that's on these chips here. There's a smaller size. There's a 35/35. So there's an even smaller size here. Now those are the strips that are inside the blade I sent you is the 35/35. It's like very tiny. What I was thinking was we should ask Jason for you to maybe think of something like this chip.
Oh yeah, we can make a chip to use a smaller.
Right. Yeah, like so maybe.
Less power.
Yeah. Like I was thinking because of that issue you're talking about. Yeah. Like, you know, that was just something I thought of by seeing this picture. I'm like, you know what, we can maybe talk to Jason, or, you know, because he has ways to kind of produce something like he did for me with my blade plug chips. You know, he has ways to maybe he makes you something.
We've got
custom.
A comment on your YouTube thing from some guy named Mundo Cabrera.
Oh yeah, that's one of my buddies there.
He was asking, do some Smiths have engineering backgrounds? Yes, some of us do. I originally was going to Art Center for automotive design, but that was a long time ago.
That sounds so cool. I love that.
You get a bad build that would ruin the experience, especially for a newbie. Yes, that is completely correct. When you get a bad build, it really ruins the experience for someone who is new to lightsabers. And something strange that I know a lot of people aren't going to relate to, but yes, my lightsabers sell for a lot of money. $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. You know, I have had a lot of new customers that come on eBay and buy that for me because they research me and they look for the reliability and stuff, and it is all about the reliability. If you like someone's saber but you're not sure about their reliability, go with someone who has better reliability just because it'll work. There's nothing worse than turning on the lightsaber and not having it work. Yeah.
It's like your heart sinks.
Completely correct. A lot of this, and this is some of the reason why FX-Sabers has developed the reputation it had a while back as the Saber Police. Because yes, I was the support forum for Master Replicas and had a link into the community knowing who was building what and what was good or bad. And see, people used to get upset with Ultra Sabers and Saber Forge for building stuff, not using proper heat sinking and all that stuff way back in the day. But you know what Saber Forge and Ultra Sabers used to do?
Yeah.
If your saber failed, you send it back to fix it. At least they did that. Okay? So you can't fault them for that. I know a lot of people bitch, complain, all this stuff, but I dealt with these guys, and they were just trying to do what they needed to do. Now, as we've evolved, you see where someone like Vader's Vault and other companies have evolved that so that sabers don't fail, and they can produce more of them. But produce what we do at the quality level that everybody gets from the best builders. It takes me a long time to make what I make. If I were to employ a whole bunch of people, they would all have to make the same amount of money I make, and I got to pay for all the parts. It's very difficult to make that work for everyone and have the skill level to replicate what everybody does.
Yeah.
My drilled crystal thing that I do, real big pain in the ass. Lose a lot of crystals sometimes, or I used to. Now I've gotten it down now, but in the beginning, there's nothing worse than spending 6 hours using a diamond bit drilling a quartz crystal only to glue it in and have it screw up on you.
Ooh.
And I got to pull it all out, clean it out, and fix it again so it illuminates right. Because it's got to illuminate right. You can just drill holes, plugs, glue stuff, whatever you make it, and send it out. But if it doesn't look good, that's. And I've always made sure that everybody gets something I'm going to hang on my wall. And just like you do and everybody else, and so it's like we've got a real. You got people like Vader's Dalton and JQ in London there that they produce multiple runs of things, and then you've got people like LDM and Mad Cow and myself who do smaller groups of stuff, but we're all building in the same quality, and sometimes you got to wait a little bit longer. I don't know. I've seen a lot of people try and do more stuff. There are other good companies out there right now that are really banging away, on other forums, but they're all dealing with the same stuff we do, that we have for years, is having to create that quality level so that way it doesn't fail. And that the customer has a good experience. Because like that guy was asking, is it true? Can you have a bad experience and have it ruin it for you? Yes, you can, especially if you spend a lot of money. You go on somewhere and you buy something for $1,000 and it doesn't work, you're going to be pissed.
Yeah.
You're going to be really pissed off.
Well, that's the nice thing. I mean, it's probably the best thing about FX-Sabers. I mean, we talked about how, you could go there, you could look at the forum gallery, you could see all the different builds, you can ask people questions, you can get the answers. But the best thing, I think, for the newbie is the fact that when you come to FX-Sabers, it isn't the Wild West like Facebook is. It is a controlled environment where the moderators and the sellers are selected.
Look at old stuff and see where, how did this evolve? What else?
Like you could look at the feedback stuff. Like if you really want to see about somebody, you could go to the feedback. I mean, sometimes people get brutally honest in the feedback section. That's like the one place on FX-Sabers where if you have something negative to say, that's where to go and say it, because if it's about something you purchased, that's where you can go and write about your experience. And
now you can, because of all the digital Millennium Act stuff. People understand before there was no digital Millennium Act in place.
What's that?
Way back in the day, it was just day after day. You can't say this, you can't say that. You're gonna get sued for this, get sued for that. We've lived as long as we can for going. I don't know what to tell you. There's no way to describe that. People don't understand it now, and they don't understand, what I've been through with all of these different companies and people that are out there. It's like, well, no, there's nothing in place. I can see you all I want. And, Lucasfilm too. Having this stand ground in between them saying, hey, this whole thing falls out here. If someone's the target, you're going to have to count on me. And and they didn't want to do that except privately. But I listened, and I told everybody else what you got to do, and they're all doing it, and we're all surviving. And it wasn't just me, you know. I mean, I say, you know, I did what I've done, but other people out there did the same thing on their level. I think I can't discount that. It's not something that, you know, I created all this. It just FX is where a lot of this started, and it's been a very tough road to keep it alive.
Yeah, well, thankfully, you know, you've been fighting that fight, I guess, a lot where people can't see that happening. You know, and
you got another guy who just Sir James took me 3 weeks of looking up stuff, and this is stuff, you know, it's one of those things where it's a mixed bag of information for each company. He's right, yeah. And the problem with that is a lot of people talk a lot of shit about each other, and it's not fair. People build good stuff; they should be rewarded for it. FX is always supposed to be that way, but I've let FX be a democracy where everybody takes their votes and they do their stuff. So things didn't always turn out that way. But looking for something good right now, you know, it is tough because there's so many choices. But I see a lot of these things on Etsy right now, and they show their soundboards wired up and stuff. And it's like, oh my God, it looks like a beaver trying to build a dam wiring that soundboard. I'm sorry, dude. It's just, you know, I don't mean to be a dick, but I'm going to be a dick right now because I spend a lot of time just making sure that each and every connection has a nice, smooth, beautiful bulb, that wire is connected right, and that there's just a little bit of that wire melting into the puddle, and that it's a really tough connection, and it's going to be a really hard connection to break. And I see so much shit where people just bend all this crap over and they shove it in these things. I'm like, oh my God, I can't imagine this worked for more than 30 minutes.
yeah.
I mean, looking at it, I could make it fail.
Yeah.
And I'm not bragging about my skill.
Well, you just planned it out really well.
Oh God, they could just pound me in the ground, dude. The way they can solder and wire stuff. And my eyesight's going as it is, but I'm telling you, I used to solder up radio control car stuff, so that way you could drive 30 miles an hour into a wall and bang off and keep going.
Yeah.
That's the way sabers need to be, because people like to
They're
bang on
banging
them.
them around. They're hitting them
If you
into.
can't duel with your lightsaber a little bit, what? Come on.
Yeah. I mean, you've got to have that confidence that it's not going to break. You know, most of it.
Everybody wants me to make the removable chassis for the Graflex. It's like, visually I want to do it too, but I've got a locking mechanism I'm working out so that way it doesn't break. Or flop around inside the hilt and bang around and stuff. You know, my hilts are, you know, your hilt's solid. You can bang that around. Yeah.
I swing it hard. I swing it hard as can be.
Like Graflex has become your beater, dude. That's awesome.
It's like it's like my go-to. But the nice thing is, it's like when you work on it, you know, you set it up for me, and then I was able to go in and kind of do the finishing touches on the wiring, and being able to do that kind of gives me that I'm in the clear. Whereas if something went wrong, I know I can go in and do it. But for the customer, everything has to be, like you said, everything has to be a perfect solder joint. Everything has to be perfect and tested for at least a week because we want to get it in the customer's hands and have them enjoy it for 10 plus years. Basically, we want
I'm not about flipping a lightsaber every 2 years or something
right.
like that, or every 6 months. I want my customer, because my customers spend $2,000 or more that saber should last them for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, and I mean, we're really lucky that the components that we're using for these are very robust, like ERV's boards and the lithium-ion batteries.
We are very lucky to have people like ERV and Nigon before all the, using the other stuff. I will say, I got to include Hyperdyne there too, even though he used to stick around the batteries stuff that caused problems, but they all did the due diligence that was necessary to make what they made.
I finally cracked that Hyperdyne thing like 5 years in, though. I figured out that battery issue was basically due to the fact that you couldn't use that tri-pack 11.1. What it really wanted was the full 3 18650 pack with 11.1. That's what it really, really craved, and it took me years to figure that out.
Well, it didn't exist back then.
Well, also that's impossible to put in any lightsaber. I mean, I'm sorry to say, unless you have the a staff or a pike, you're not going to fit three 18650s in the lightsaber.
No, it worked, dude, because I built, crap, I gotta think. I know I built at least I built a Hyperdyne system for Jim, for Hyperdyne himself, which as far as I know, that one probably still works. I built 2 more. I forgot where one of them went, but the other one I know was for my old R2D2, because we had to smuggle it. We actually had to smuggle it out of the United States into Mexico, into Colombia, and then over to Spain.
An entire R2D2 or the
Don't ask me
lightsaber?
why, but he wanted it shipped in a gun case and stuff, and he had all the connections, and so we got it shipped. But yeah, it was strange. But those, I turned them down, just like, I turned them down so the brightness was good, but that they weren't pushing it. Same as it is now.
Yeah.
It's just a different mechanism.
Yeah, because it's like once I figured that out, and I realized there were certain lightsabers I was building that I had to use the tri-pack of the I think it was 14500 or 14650 maybe. There was like a tri-pack that was like literally the way the batteries were stacked, like they were in a triangle. That fit in sabers, and that worked. But what it really hungered for was the bigger pack to make it, like you said, work at actually at a higher level.
They have the milliamps. It had plenty of voltage.
Right.
So it could be bright for a short amount of time.
Yeah.
And that's what it was all about. But
to me, the Hyperdynes were for taking photo shoot, like for like photo shoots and stuff like that. It wasn't like you're making a lightsaber that can duel or it can go on the shelf. The Hyperdyne was for show, I think. The
way the boards were made and the joints, it left a lot where stuff could still get damaged. But it was the first generation in between the electroluminescent strips and wires that you would originally see from the parks, or the very first 2003, 2004 master replicas that had the LED sheet in those blades. Hyperdyne was right in between those with his LED string blade in a sense, but it was more like a master replica blade. The master replicas made their own, and they were on the pixel blades and stuff now with all the LED flashlights in between. That survived. Thank God for all those flashlights, because they lasted 10 years. Everything else is I got to see a foreign light chrome Graflex still lights up. The single LED in it.
I liked the Soul P4 blue, to be honest. I like that color blue.
It is a nice color.
Well, actually, there was
Well,
a
I
couple
can't
different
change that.
bins,
I
wasn't there?
want to change it, but I'm like, no, just going to leave it alone.
I remember when
I never touch it anyway. It just sits in a case, and I don't. I dust it every once in a while. I just my old mannequin. Anyway, is anybody?
I haven't. I don't know if the comment thing is working for me
so-
because I don't see the comments. So I don't like. I saw the
Well,
comments
I've
the first
seen
time.
some of the comments. DC laughed at us, but Mundo was saying it's a mixed bag for each company. Yeah, I don't know what to tell everybody except he's got to research. There's so many stuff, so many different people out there. I mean, obviously, people go, and I think that's probably the reason why I keep doing my eBay auctions is, I've got a group of people there. They are looking for what I make, but not everybody affords this because I'm getting a lot of nostalgia customers and stuff. So when people are looking for something affordable, they're looking for Vader's Vault equivalent type saber, something that's a step above Ultra Sabers or maybe Saber Forge. I think Saber Forge has done some Neopixel stuff. Obviously I haven't bought one. I don't know what it's.
Well, that's the cool thing about Vader's Vault is that the pricing has come down for something.
Yeah, they've been working really hard to try and give better technology at a lower price.
And the detailing too, like
really
some of that stuff looks awesome. They have a new line where they have a Darth Vader, they have a Graflex style lightsaber with an inner chassis. It looks great. It looks nice. It's affordable. I really like choosing a company by. I mean, maybe this is me because I'm an artist. I like to draw. I like designs. I'm a designer for my day job. Maybe this is why I kind of lean towards some company or some person, some individual that I feel like their aesthetic is like mine. So when I was looking for back in like 2009, I was looking at what kind of custom saber do I want to get, because I just joined FX-Sabers and I saw all the cool stuff on FX-Sabers. And for me, I lean towards Alan Johnson's stuff from Vader's Vault. I thought his look was really close to my heart of what I liked. I liked Rob's from Genesis Custom Sabers. I liked his designs a lot too. I thought those really looked like the original trilogy lightsabers to me. He also had some stuff that looked older, ancient. Vader's Vault seemed to kind of jump around and go from like futuristic looking lightsabers to lightsabers of ancient Jedi back and forth. I mean, I remember even
multiple groups.
Yeah, and all their sabers in the beginning were like customs, and this is kind of before they came out with like their online store and stuff like that. When like back in the days when they were like winning the contests like for some of their art for some of their saber designs and stuff. That's when I kind of noticed them, and I thought, that's when I contacted Deanna, and I was like, I really want to get a saber from you guys because I think it's like the nicest designs that hits me in my heart. So I think when you're looking for a saber, you can start with, if you're new, you can start with what hits you, what do you feel looks good, and then go and investigate those people to see if they're if they're going to produce.
Now, with Parks, and actually Corbach is released distributor for Parks.
Yeah.
Parks originally made most of, even if his designs have been filtered from other people, regardless, Corbach has a good setup going where, like I said, he's doing all the runs in the forum, and now he barely comes around. So so busy on Facebook and stuff. And I understand, but hurts to forget your roots, buddy. Anyway, I know one of the things he likes to do is try and get people in the community to help build completed working sabers and stuff. But at the same time, then people are, sometimes people get a good one, sometimes people get a bad one. But I think he's nailing that down a little bit more now. So you've got, a couple vendors there where you've got that available, but, like I said, Corbanti, everything, there is design that is meant to appease multiple people. Whereas like the Vader's Vault stuff is after a specific group that, no, this is a functioning saber, not just an empty hilt.
Yeah.
The Vader's Vault doesn't sell empty hilts so you can get it out yourself. They're really something that, it's going to work when you get it. And that's the whole point. I know DNA has sent me numerous hilts for just, doing photo shoots or things like that. I got to do something on TV or whatever. I had to do videos and stuff a while back, and she was able to send me stuff, and it was nice, but, okay, I could rely on the fact that things going to turn on and work.
Yeah.
So I'm like, my wife can hold it and do the video with me and stuff, and all I got to worry about is my Graflex.
Yeah.
But
all the support is in place.
It's very difficult to get to that level, no matter what you're doing, whether you're building lightsabers or Apple iPhones.
Yeah.
Getting the quality control, and that's why I applaud anybody that's out there right now. They said, there are numerous other groups out there that they're doing a good job. I mention a whole bunch of people, then there'll be a bunch of people pissed off I don't mention them. But,
Yeah.
If you look at all the primary forums right now where people are talking about stuff, then most people will find what they're looking for. Even though it takes a little bit of work, because the thing is, if you want to just spend $100, $200, $300, go to Galaxy's Edge, go get something from the store, get something cheap somewhere. But if you're going to step over $500 and you're looking, for, a quality saber, the best thing I can tell customers is do the research, ask questions. And that's part of the reason why we're doing this live thing tonight, is just get everybody accustomed to, okay, I know the forum can be a pain in the ass to use. Maybe there could be a bunch of people asking us questions online live tonight that someone like you and me, Jay Kumba, other people that we know can jump on here with us and say, hey, if you're looking for this, go here. That's it.
Yeah.
And we don't have to be biased towards just FX-Sabers people. There's plenty of people in the RPF and the Rebel Armory, and even in Rebels. If you're looking for absolute Star Wars memorabilia that's licensed, you have to go to Rebel Scum. You don't pick around with the rest of us. You go over there. I'm not about just pointing everybody in one direction. I'm pointing everybody in the right direction.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where they are.
In some cases, I mean, when you're
a thing like this, so we talk to everybody, then I'll have to just, we've got to be honest with everybody and say, hey, if you're looking for this particular hill, here are the different people that make them. Yes, here are the people on FX-Sabers, here are the people on this forum, that forum. There are multiple people that make this hill.
Yeah, or
in our opinion, if you want something that just works and it looks this way, go to these guys. If you want something more that you can customize and stick with down the road, go to these guys. And that's what FX-Sabers has always been about. It's never been about. That's why I'd let everybody else run the forum instead of me. I've never been a dictator on it, but everybody wants me to do it, and I just refuse to do it.
Well, everyone loves when you come in and say something on the forums. Everybody respects what you have to say, especially when it comes to Graflex lightsabers and things of that nature. I mean, you're talking about pointing people in the right direction.
I think I've made more Graflexes than most anybody out there, at least at this.
And nobody knows better that you kind of can't get.
Graflexes with just a little plastic tube inside of it, but making a crystal and stuff. I know I've still built a lot of them.
Yeah, and if someone was building their own, they would have to get multiple parts and get parts from a lot of different places. Like, do you still make the just a crystal chamber unit for people to purchase, or is that something you only did in the past?
The only thing I don't make are the screws, the aluminum threaded standoffs, and the brass standoffs that have the knurling on them. That's all, everything else I have to make.
Well, do you still sell like the?
It's just raw tubing or something else that you got to cut it to size, bend it to shape. It's a sheet of aluminum. It's a sheet of steel. You got to laser cut it. You got to machine it. You got to do this, do that. Yeah, everything about my chassis is made except for the absolute basic hardware is that's it. There's brass and aluminum standoffs and screws.
Do you still offer the like
the soundboard and the Graflex, of course?
Do you still offer the chassis kits like you used to do for people?
Haven't done kits. I know everybody asks about kits.
Yeah, I know. You used to do like runs of them, right?
The paper I made for you is as close to a kit as I've done in many years because everybody wants to take it apart and copy it.
Oh,
and
that's
I can't. When I have a real customer buying a lightsaber for multiple thousands of dollars because it's going in their collection, they're not taking it apart. But you know what? It doesn't matter. It's some of the good guys that are out there. I'm not going to mention any names, but they know who they are. There are a lot of people that have my lightsabers, a negotiator, and a Graflex from years ago, that they are out there in their own country doing some awesome stuff because I helped inspire them. I can't always look at it negatively, like someone's copied what I did. I just inspired because I didn't go out and patent the chassis and make everybody pay me something like Disney did because I'm not a good businessman. If I was, I probably would have done that. But what it's done, it just at my own whatever. It's better to see so much of this flourish than to try to put the cuffs on it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how else to say this because sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's good, but when you help start something that becomes big and a lot of people forget you or want to say something bad, because I don't say anything bad about anybody. Well, maybe just a couple people, but we're talking like 2 or 3 people out of the thousands and thousands that are out there that have done such good stuff over these past few years. And before The Force Awakens came out, Star Wars was in such a low, and there was nothing. I mean, there was one year I made $11,000 for the year.
That's wild. And still, you stuck with it, and you hung on, even though there was no promise of new movies. There was no promise of The Mandalorian or anything.
In fact, I think this was in the worst year. I think it was 2012, which was the worst year of everyone's lives in this community. Because they were expecting the world to end, and it didn't. And they had to keep going. Don't you remember 2012? The whole world was going to end.
Yeah, the Mayan calendar, or December, whatever it was. And...
they figured out the Mayan calendar, flipped over to the new one with a bunch of cats on it. I'm sorry, the ancient alien stuff. I love all this alien crap, but if there were really aliens here, and they had the firepower, they would get rid of us. I don't think so. That's why I like Star Wars, man. Star Wars is real for the human race. It's a long time ago, galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, well, that's what I think is cool about all the people in the community.
That, when you absorb that and you think, you know what, you're right. These guys did it before we did. We could do it.
Yeah.
And that's what is inspiring to me from George Lucas of building Graflexes. You know, I told everybody, hey, you know, you guys, there's all kinds of lightsabers. I like the Graflex, that's my thing. I like the Obi-Wan Phantom Menace. I like the Anakin Attack of the Clone. I don't give a shit about anything else. I don't. That's why there have been so many conflicts. No one understands. In the beginning, I told all these different manufacturers, pick the lightsabers you like the best and make those to the best of your ability. And then don't compete with each other so you're all making different things. Because we're like 5, 6 different people. We've got like 20 different lightsabers to make. You guys got plenty of shit to choose from. There was no conflict for a long time. And everybody made their own stuff, and then all of a sudden, all the new Star Wars things came out. Everyone's making everything. I'm the guy that used to make Graflexes for the past 12 years. In the past 4 years, everyone makes a Graflex.
Yeah. They flooded the market once that episode 7 came.
That's one of my things. I was like, oh my God. I just don't want to dump something out. I did get overwhelmed with other things that were going on because I was being sucked into something that I thought was official licensing, dealing with all the stuff from selling a $15,000 lightsaber before the VERGE video. I mean, I had people driving by my freaking house, dude, taking pictures. It was weird.
And what I'll do too is I will put the link for that video below when we're through here, so people can see.
Brian did with the VERGE, put that up there because
I liked watching that. I thought that was really cool.
Because I didn't leave anybody out. I mean, that's the thing. I did all these videos with Brian and with Discovery Channel. They did a bunch of segments on that. And I just kept plugging everybody I could do. But they left it out. And I rambled. There was like 2 or 3 minutes with Discovery Channel. I was just rambling off all the different saber makers and stuff. I was like, there's this guy, there's this guy, there's this guy, there's this company, and they just cut it all out. Because, you know, I mean, it was supposed to be an interview on me. I understand. But I had to give it a shot.
Yeah, well, I was just on looking at. I was flipping through some of the JQ.
But Brian
builds.
was cool enough to include in his written article a bunch of the other people too. Because as much as I wanted in the beginning, you know, with FX-Sabers to keep all the saber people together, it was obvious that that wasn't going to happen. People are going to branch out, do their own things, and the only reason I wanted to keep people together was not for, you know, all the weird shit you might hear out there. I wanted to just keep people together in one spot for the safety. of knowing who everybody is and knowing who does what good work, who has a good reputation, who doesn't. All the things that these guys are questioning you right now. I want to know who's a good reputable company. Well, there's a lot of good reputable companies, but they're all split up, they're all divided, and they all bicker and fight with each other. That's what you don't want to know. That's the truth. And it would just stop, and everybody would just. That's the whole point. I didn't want. It was so upsetting when I lost Ultra Sabers many years ago. Like, oh, dude, no, because you guys aren't doing anything. Did they make the high quality product everybody else did? No, they made the most affordable product. But they got forced out by the majority of fans kind of pushing back against Disney right now. Not the same group of people, but the same mentality of no, we don't want this mass produced. We like our specialty, and that's okay. But before it was this big divide of mass production and specialty. Now everybody coexists together, and it's like, God, they couldn't have just had a little foresight and saved me all the agony of mediating their arguments there.
Well, and then around that time, they went in and kind of created their own forum, basically based on Ultra Sabers products solely. So it wasn't like
Tim has with Custom Saber Shop all along, and but we established that with Tim a long time ago. It was like, no, dude, I'm just talking about my stuff. Talk about everyone's stuff. Crap on your farm. And so, all this shit rolled downhill, but people love digging into the shit. And this shit don't stink. It actually, it's not like shit. It's like everyone's dumping flowers and herbs and
the kitchen
barley.
sink.
We've got a little microbrewery growing down here where everyone's making their own flavor. And it's just, I'm hoping that with this live cast we're talking about right now, people won't get pissed off at me, but they understand the plight we've had to go through to help keep everybody around just as long. You understand? I mean,
well, we lost some people along the way.
I'm sure we did.
I don't see Doklo around anymore. I think he's still building sabers, but I don't see him on the forum. There are certain people I don't really see.
There's still 14 people watching it. Wait, what are you talking?
What'd you say?
Wait, what are you talking about?
Are you talking about people that are watching or people on FX-Sabers? I was saying on FX-Sabers that we lost a few people along the way, as far as the people that were, major builders. I don't know if they moved to Facebook or where they kind of drifted to, or maybe it's a type of hobby that sometimes people grow out of. I'm not sure. It's the type of thing for me though that's like a lifetime love, especially when it has to do with the like the movies that I consider had the good story. That's when the lightsaber means a lot to me. What's the best like replica Graflex that you've come across, that you've worked with?
But right now I use the Graflex shop replicas because I helped Jeff refine those, and overall, replica-wise, it
suits your needs for what you need to do with that one.
Yeah, and I think people might be surprised with what they see in the movie.
Yeah, I heard some stuff in the spoilers regarding what happens with the different lightsabers, and there is even going to be potentially one new lightsaber other than the ones we saw in the trailer. There's going to be one new lightsaber. That'll be interesting to see what that looks like. It's going to be standard style lightsaber. Yeah, the Graflex shop is someplace I go to as well to get. I like to put Graflex parts sometimes in other lightsabers. I think taking something from the Graflex, such as the bunny ears or the faux recharge pins, the Graflex pins, or different other aspects of the lightsaber. Sometimes even the glass eye as a retention thumb screw. Are pretty cool things to add because it's almost like a cheat. It's almost like an easy way to, or even the clamp. I mean, I've added the clamp before on certain sabers because it makes it look like it tells people this is a lightsaber. Yeah. Just like Sloth Furnace did early on with the Derelict, or like what some people are doing now with parts of a Graflex. I think it's such the iconic lightsaber that even just small parts from it can help your custom build look like you're trying to make it look like a lightsaber on first glance. Include some a red button, or include a Graflex clamp with a card on it, and a different type of design. You need to come up with something cool, like Edmundo, the one you were reading his comments. He's been showing me some pictures through email. The custom saber he's making looks kind of like a an Obi-Wan Episode 4 lightsaber. He's using some iconic lightsaber elements such as a clamp, such as a card, a circuit card. He's trying to light up the card. He's got a LED strip below. He's going to light it up. He's going to came up with his own design and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. The Graflex is like the grandfather of all lightsabers, and since you're like the godfather of Graflex lightsabers.
The Graflex godfather. I remember when I heard Brian say that when they were working on the video. I was like, that was funny. I have to be stroking a cat.
Yeah.
I tell you, this is how we're going to build it.
It's going to last forever. It'll never fail you. It's loyalty.
We used this slide switch that I found in a small circuit shop. It's funny. The slide switch we're all using now under it's a little leaf lever slide switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on your chassis.
Mm-hmm.
It's black. Okay, because I found the company that was making them by finding that little lever from a 1970s blister pack that it was like a blue and green color. I was like, oh my God, this little slide switch would be perfect if only this company still made them.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked them up, and then bang, there they were. I was like, oh my God, they're new ones.
Oh wow.
There's this little rinky-dink electric place I used to go and get parts from and stuff, but I found obscure weird switches and stuff like that from there. the little switches I use for the on and off and everything. It got a whole bunch of stuff from this place. They went out of business, over 10 years ago now, but in the beginning, a lot of these things I found, it's just a little electronic shop. I forget the name of it.
Yeah, that switch works perfectly. It's super tiny too. It's like that's the exact size you needed.
Yeah, and as a leaf lever, a lot of people use a hinge lever that has the pin. That can break. If you use a leaf lever like I do, it just flexes. And the cabinet of the Graflex slide can push against it all at once for a long time. And just doesn't give because I'm not putting enough pressure on it.
Yeah, one thing I was just thinking of, I was thinking of it, I think yesterday when we talked too about the one small question you had about the CF10 and the USB. I'm wondering how much is the Bluetooth phone app going to be able to control? I didn't investigate it yet.
Good question. I kind of know where you're going because I'm battling back and forth with Herb right now about relocating my USB port because of my plastic chassis I've got right now. I need to move it, but can the Bluetooth and the USB do all the updates? So
yeah, like I wonder if that could take the place of that.
I'm asking right now. Maybe post on the forum. See the answer.
Yeah, because it may not be confirmed at how much data this is going to control, but maybe that's something, or maybe it's something for the future. I know the board's going to be expandable, and there's always going to be updates and things like that. Because Stokie D, Dimitri's app is going to work with it, and I haven't played with it myself, so I'm not. I think Dimitri might know, and Herb will know how much it can control. How much it can put, maybe you can put data, or maybe it doesn't transfer data. I'm not sure. They've been using this with the Profi board for a little while, and some other boards as well. Some collector boards.
Hey, check that out. We've got some questions from these guys here. Okay, Mondo is saying that the videos from Matt Cows are good. He's got some practice boards, so he's going to start working on that. That's cool. Another guy said, hey, too bad Shaheen bounced. Shaheen was actually apparently someone who came from Saber Forge, and he had a following, and boy, that guy kicked ass for a while, man.
Yeah.
I hope whatever he's got going on is working good for him. So a shout out to Shaheen. I never talked to him much or anything, which was stupid because he was just up here in Roseville not too long ago with the guy for the trilogy books. Crap, his name escapes me right now because I'm reading stuff. Sorry. Anyway, somebody has a question for me about an episode 9 clamp. Yes, I do have some ideas for an episode 9 clamp. But it's significantly more complicated than what other people are showing because I would need it to pull apart and stuff correctly. But it is something I'm looking at. Yeah. So if he wants to know, yes, I am thinking of but at the same time, because we're all kind of working on shots from the movie, what is it that's being used right there? I have my own ideas of what I want to use regardless. Because you've got that black band in the middle. People are saying it's leather. People are saying it's plastic. Okay. For the prop, I'm sure it's plastic. For what it should it be leather? I don't know. I would like to see a black brushed aluminum. There's kind of where I'm leaning, but I don't we're going to have to see what shows up. I don't want to jump the gun. I've got a mechanism I'm thinking of so it splits. My thought is that if Ray repaired the lightsaber, I want to create a sleeve that goes inside that locks together that shows the repair, and then once you open up and display it, it's like my normal display where it splits in half, but you got the extra clamp piece and you put the sleeve around it. So I've been cutting some metal pieces and testing to see what is going to hold on strong enough there. It is most likely something I will do in conglomeration with Graflex Shop. I do a lot of my Graflex stuff. I've been doing Graflex Shop with Graflex stuff with Graflex Shop. That was a tongue twister there. I'm sorry. Graflex stuff with Graflex Shop. Jeff and I have been working together for many years, designing the adapters, refining things. Where on the Hilta is right now. He's got enough vintage parts for me to choke a meal. So it's something that we would probably do that together. I would probably not, even if I could afford to do it on my own, it's not something I would do because he's got the storefront already, and anything I deal with Graflex-wise goes through Jeff. Because it would be a dick move to make Graflex stuff on my own.
Well, it's always good to have help, to have
other people
partners.
design stuff, I give Roman some tips. Matt over there that used to make the stainless steel Graflex prop maker. I helped him with stuff, but not as much as I helped Jeff. I've always thrown out ideas to everybody. But the thing is that Jeff and I, with the Graflex Shop, have worked real closely for a long time. Anything Graflex related I'm going to come up with, I know he's going to want to retail it. That's the retail front for that stuff. If I was going to sell chassis, I don't need to open a store. I would probably sell them to Graflex Shop, just under FX-Sabers, just because it's not my thing. I need to be where I'm at. So in the Lucasfilm and Disney come talking, I don't have anything they can go after. I can negotiate for everybody else. But I can retail through everybody else. It's just the way it works.
Yeah, I got a picture pulled up here of that part that you're talking about, the clamp on the Episode 9 Saber. It looks sleeker than the lever. I guess better to handle for people if they got their hands on something like this. It's a little bit less unwieldy, I guess you could say, because it doesn't have the clamp.
Well, that's why I haven't put one out just yet.
You have to figure out, like you said, how to make it open and stuff.
I'm working on figuring out how to make a solid connection.
Yeah.
So that way I can have the display factor, and you could just make a sleeve with a couple of prep bumps that fit into the clamp there and slide around. I've seen a couple of people do that. But that's not going to hold every shell. It's not going to lock. It's not going to do what it needs to do. And so it might be something that I do specifically with Graflex Shop where we make it might not fit every vintage hilt, because vintage hilts range a lot, dude. We're talking, I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but the difference in diameter of like a fourth of a millimeter, 0.25 there. It's a difference between the clamp locking and having a tight hilt where it's flopping around like, some novice dumbasses put this together. All my customers get a smooth locking hilt. I've been fighting with this last vintage I'm making right now to do the Neopixel thing, and to get a nice, smooth locking. When you let the lever go, it's got to release. You don't want to wiggle it out too much. It's just release and slide down.
Everything's got to be perfect on the Yoda Graflex for sure.
Yeah, I mean you don't have to like wiggle your clamp off or anything.
No.
Maybe your New Hope that I didn't build with the other one.
No, actually, I haven't played with it, A New Hope shell too much. I mostly keep it on the TFA.
Okay, but the other one you unlock it and just.
Actually, I think the A New Hope one is a little tighter. What I do with my
Because I didn't build it with the other one here.
Right,
so I was
right.
trying to go off what I had closest.
Right. But the
I
way
like to be smooth like butter, where you just unlock that clamp and just bang, 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 it just slides off.
that's how mine works. Yeah, that's how mine works. Very easily.
Yeah, your first one I know works easy.
This one's such a light touch to this one. Very nice.
But
Then when I close it, it's very solid when I close it down. Very solid. But we've been talking for. We've been talking for a while. I don't know. Maybe I should let you go, and we can certainly do this another time, and answer more questions.
If people are into it and they want to listen, they want to talk, they have questions, I'm all for it. You say, hey, let's do an FX, because you've kind of got, and that's why I didn't want to. That's why when I posted it, it was Saber Talk Live. FX-Sabers on there. Because I know you've kind of got the Saber Talk show going. I don't want to absorb it into FX-Sabers, but because if you want to have other people on and stuff, don't feel 100% obligated to me. Yeah, you're a mod, and you're making my blade, so that doesn't matter. So then, if you got to host other people, don't feel like my existence stops or hinders that in any way. Like all the rumors out there, like this is about everybody. It's good for everybody to talk.
Yeah.
We should get as many people together as possible and just shoot the shit. And,
totally.
Have an outlet there.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Awesome. Yeah. Like I want to do, FX-Sabers Live to be like kind of an enhancement or kind of like a very.
Will say publicly.
Say that again?
I'm concerned. I lost a couple Facebook likes tonight. I hope I didn't upset somebody, but
No, I'm sure everyone is very, very pleased to like hear you.
With everyone, say, hey, I build the best I can, and I try to get everybody else to build the best they can, and that's the way it started. And
absolutely.
There's no reason to stop now because everybody's doing such good stuff.
I mean, there's like nothing more inspiring than seeing your builds early on. That's basically the mainstay to the FX-Saber forums from the start. That level of detail and just sort of.
I think I helped.
Go ahead.
Create a level of minimal detail to start because it was just a little firefly thing the thing that used to be my crystal chamber you put on your car rims that used to flash. Yeah, the little tire flies.
I know what you're talking about.
Because I knew that could take the beating.
I know what you're talking
and
about.
And I went to crystal chambers and stuff. I told you. People can see it. They know. That first one sold for $3,500. I was just losing my mind. But, I can't thank people enough. And I'm always so humbled by, the value that people put on anything that I make and anything that anybody that we in the community as a whole make. It really is good because some people, they're building sabers to meet the masses, and then some people are building artwork. And there's a community of the community, for each of those people, they want something that they can just pull up wall and beat the hell out of it and not worry about it. Or they want something they can put on the wall and all their friends go in and say, ooh, I've got my ooh, I know what that feels like. And you can't belittle it, you can't forget it. And I haven't forgotten it for 15 years, and, that's why you're involved, because I know I know how you feel. I know you understand what it's like when you complete something for somebody and it really works well. And it works well enough that they can kind of beat on it a little bit and they abuse it slightly and they say, oh shit, Yoda, you know what, I screwed up. I need a new SD card or something. You send them a new SD card and they're like, oh my god, it still works. This is awesome. And they're just thankful that they didn't blow thousands of dollars on something that doesn't work. And it's like making a Ferrari, old school stuff here. Not the new things, but
hand built, hand stitched, hand done. That's how a Ferrari is made too.
Yeah, well, maybe older stuff, maybe not the new things, but we're hand building things for customers that are just like us.
Yeah.
And it's that's what's important, I think, is that we continue supporting the hobbyists as well as the main manufacturers that are producing. You can produce stuff that's ready to go. You can produce stuff for people like that want to do all the extra DIY. And we've got so many levels of do-it-yourself now.
Yeah.
You've got basic do-it-yourself, but you just plug it in and light it up. Or you got super do-it-yourself, where you can go to all the open source things now and completely write your own code.
Yeah.
It's like Matchbox 20 said, dude, let's see how far we've come. Man, we've come a long way. And it's just awesome.
Yeah, and another cool thing is all the collaborations, because you're talking about working with the Graflex shop. You're talking about people starting from one place, kind of expanding. I mean, some people start out making sound fonts for the lightsaber, and the next thing you know, they're making their own lightsaber from parts or hand done, or a custom saber. Sometimes people start out just doing one small part, and then kind of get to the point where they dive in.
Yeah, exactly. They start small and then they wind up building some stuff for themselves, and they use it with their friends, and they're dueling. They're like, oh my god, all my friends' sabers are breaking, but mine aren't. Am I doing something right? And they start looking at other stuff. They go and they look at Mad Cow's videos. They say, hey, my solder joints look pretty good. Maybe I can give it a shot. And then so if you start small, and that's what my whole thing has been with FX, build 10 items, sell them, and get good feedback, and let's go from there. And, for a lot of people, it's been too much, but, God, I never thought it was too much to ask. And you just start small. And then you build up, and you build up, and you build up. It's how Vaderful did. God, they were barely on eBay. I brought them over here, and they were doing small stuff, and bang, they're just kicking ass.
Yeah.
Even same thing with Alex and everybody over at Ultra Sabers and stuff. Talking with Emery, and Emery was so, very military and stuff, but he knew, you just do a few things right and keep doing those things right, and then do them better. Keep doing them better. So, for anybody and everybody out there that thinks I don't like them, you're wrong. I like everybody. I'm so glad everybody's doing so well and making all this cool stuff. It's just wonderful. It's so great to see But he knew all these things. I could never, if I sit here and rambled off everybody's names, I would forget one person, and it would just all come undone.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's just,
well, that's really cool that you feel that way, that you say that. That's really awesome. I mean, ever since we started being friends, and you've been, a mentor for me, and I really appreciate that. And it just,
thanks, man.
it's just I feel really lucky because not a lot of people. I mean, not a lot of people get the ear and the advice of the top person. The top person in the saber world. I'm just really lucky that we're friends. I can call you, we can talk, and now I just wanted to bring that to as many people as we could, because FX-Sabers is one platform where we could type, we could post pictures and stuff like that, but why not have one of these every so often where now they can hear your voice, now they can ask a question live, or maybe there's a discussion on FX that we can continue here, which is what I want to try to do. If we see something interesting on FX, we could jump on and talk about it. I mean, some of these builds that people come out with, they've been working a year or a year and a half, and then they make a post. It deserves our attention sometimes to kind of highlight it, because a lot more people are on the different platforms now, and we got to bring them back to sort of the source. And a lot of these people, they're posting on different places too.
A few days ago, some guy was asking about his old Luke ESP for Master Replicas, that the Graflex monstrosity that the thing was. It was just like a giant Graflex there.
I'm actually
like a Galaxy's Edge style size Graflex.
Yeah, well, what the thing with that, it's very shiny though, nice and shiny, nice and heavy.
Just check the wiring on your battery pack, dude. Usually those things flex a bit, and it was strange because it was kind of old school, but at the same time, it was like, even this old stuff still pops up and shit, dude. I have a 2003 Luke ESD in the box that I got from Amy from Master Replicas as my first thing that they ever gave me, dude.
Wow.
I'll never let go of that.
I was looking even previous to that. I was online.
In the office that day, if we had all the old pictures of my old forum stuff, maybe it's in my photo bucket, but when I walked into the Master Replica's office that first day with my Anakin lightsaber, I converted into a Yoda with a green blade and a cord film blade in it. They were all in the glass office in there. I lit this thing up and it lit up the whole room. They all just shit their pants. They came out looking at stuff, dude. That's where it all started, dude.
Yeah.
That day is where this whole community got its real leggings, and we stuck a foot in it and said, hey, we're here. This is going to happen. Whether you want it to or not, look at what everybody's doing now, man. They're badass. Dude, some of these guys are doing some cool stuff, all the phone changing colors and things. All the things a regular Graflex doesn't need to do. Okay, just the Luke Skywalker lightsaber that I make. I'm not going to put it to OLED and all. It's too much for what I make, for the purity of what I'm just after. But for all the custom stuff, oh my God, it just, there's no end. And it leads to all kinds of other new cool things that some of these guys I know are out there making lightsabers, and they start to learn a new skill, and they go get a new job that pays good, because they all of a sudden start learning how to fix this lightsaber. It's so awesome.
Yeah. It's like it is. The possibilities are endless. They're endless, and for those people like Irv or Frederick or Dimitri or any of these people like JB Kuma, who kind of make their own products, make their own circuit boards, and and design those things from nothing. It's they're bringing their skill from their industry into lightsabers, which, like you just said, can actually go both ways. You know.
I mean, that whole deal. Over the years, we have done various tangible things where you remove the crystal. But Jacob, that Marvel glove he did.
Oh.
With the crystal.
That is an amazing lightsaber. Are you talking about his like his Thanos lightsaber?
The
Infinity saber. Wow. Yeah, I was able to see that in person. That's really cool.
Took the skill of doing the removable component, like Disney is doing their dumbed down version of lightsaber, to the next level. That now, yes, other people had done it before, but not at that technicality.
Yeah.
And what was nice is that he did reference some of the things that he had learned before from other people making tangible, removable stuff. Said, hey, I took it to this point, as opposed to saying, oh, I just did this. Nobody else came before me. It's awesome when the community recognizes where their inspiration came from. I've always said my inspiration came from Howard Watts and his cutaways.
Mm-hmm.
The original Graflex cutaway that was done by a gentleman on the RPF, and then Howard Watts and his Obi-Wan cutaways that I had seen. I was like, oh my God, these guys are just badass, and I want to take that and turn it into something you can beat the shit out of it. Put the blade in it and go bang, 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 and have fun with it and learn how to. Because I've always liked sword fighting, so it was like, you can't sword fight. Your lightsaber is only doing half as much as it should be. So, trying to combine that detail of the cutaways into the three-dimensional chassis that I did, for what I've done with it, yes. And then for what everybody else has done with the same inspiration, boy, every saber's got a chassis in it right now, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
Under the shell of every high-performance car is an even higher-performing chassis. And so, at least, did I make zillions of dollars off that? No. I ever, inflicted any patent things or anything like that, chasing right now. It's like, if I don't, like I said earlier, I experienced what it was like to hinder people. If you hinder them, nothing's going to grow.
Yeah.
And man, this thing grew like a wildfire. People make some awesome stuff now.
Yeah. And we'll be featuring them here. We'll when somebody makes a post that's extraordinary lightsaber, we'll show it and we'll talk about it. It'll be fun. Maybe we can get them in here too.
You just want to schedule stuff with me so we can get someone on the phone at the right time and I can chime in too. And I'm happy to host the Saber Talk Live thing.
That's cool. Yeah, because like you were saying, we could probably do it on Facebook as well. Through your Facebook account.
Show.
Yeah, exactly. Like the only one of its kind, I think. So it'll be cool.
Well, for lightsaber set, because you've already got a lot of the Star Wars things where you got what do I call it? Star Wars library here.
Like kind of theory videos and stuff like that. Like videos centered around the movies. But no one's really just talking about like our favorite thing, which is the actual fictional weapon of the lightsaber.
Yeah, lightsabers. Just lightsaber stuff. We can touch on other subjects for a little while, but we gotta always reel it back.
It's like, imagine there was a baseball show that just talked about.
There were like technical questions and stuff like that, or know, and I'm asking my answer, or my question, I need a fucking answer. We might be able to help them, and it'll help other people, because a lot of times you can answer one person's question.
Other people have that question.
It's the same question for 100 people.
Yeah. You know,
the same problem.
it's like imagine there was
effects coming out right now. You know, I'm not proficient with anything yet, but we could always call Irv at 2 o'clock in the morning like he did me.
Yeah.
Many years ago, it was like 2:30 in the morning. Irv calls me. I was like, "Please, you know what time it is?"
Well, it's probably 8 in the morning for him.
But, you know, this is back when me, him, Nova Star, and everybody used to get together. Oh, hey, I'm going to give a shout out to Nova Star because no one's heard from him for a while.
I love Nova Star. He's one of the first people I saw. He's working on a script?
He's working on a movie script for Dragon stuff. Oh. And it sounds pretty cool. I haven't had a chance to read the whole thing. I've looked through some of his characters right now. But maybe next time on the show or something like that, I'll try and give a shout out to him again and just some sort of link. People could check that out because he's gotten kind of out of the Star Wars thing there. He's working on other stuff, but he's got a movie script he's working on with some sort of dragon fantasy.
That sounds cool.
It's kind of interesting.
That sounds cool. I love dragons.
Like I said, I haven't read anything, but from what I've heard from his screen, he's hired a group of people that do all the voices and all that kind of stuff. So it sounds interesting. Yeah,
well, you know, you were like on my bucket list for guests to talk with on a live stream. No. And Nova Star is another one. You know, I would love to see if he would come on. And I know he's kind of away from lightsabers a little bit. He's not into it as much as he used to be. But that's where I learned how to solder basically from Nova Star's videos with Irv. You know, I learned that's how I learned how to solder. When they were soldering like a Crystal Focus 2 or something. They made a video and they were teaching people how to solder, and that's kind of how I started getting into it and learn and made myself believe that I could do it too, because they were showing me the right way.
Yeah, I'm sure you probably work some out there. I'll have to talk to him and stuff, see if you want to talk to the Saber community.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd be down for something sometime. But there's a bunch of people like him, like Irv. Anyone that loves sabers is welcome to come on and talk. I can pull you in here, through this StreamYard. But I don't know tonight. I'm not sure if I have something checked off wrong here that I don't see if there's a comment, but last time I did it was working right, so I'm sure I'll be able to get it working right for next time. Whatever.
When I look at your face page here, I'm seeing comments on the right side.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that. Like I have my.
Someone asked if we're into HEMA. I don't know what that is. DC and Megatooth were here just talking a while ago.
Megatooth was talking to me last time.
YouTube public face thing. Historical European martial arts, Excelsior Saber Shirking.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Long sword, buckler, etc. Tell Excelsior Sabers this. I used to work with I was training at a place called Swordplay Studios. With Tim West. original trainers of the Pirates of the Caribbean and stuff. So longsword, broadsword, fighting, rapiers and stuff. All that stuff applies to lightsabers, especially longsword, broadsword. Yeah, okay, he said, yeah, okay. Just tell him, hey, that's cool. Yeah. Broadsword fighting is what a lightsaber is really like, because George Lucas used to say that the blade itself, the energy was heavy. And so you'd be swinging that thing around. And that's what made the prequels so awesome, was that these Jedi at the peak of their abilities could swing this heavy-ass weapon around and just throttle people. Whereas opposed to now, I don't know what Rey and Kylo were doing, but...
well, they all look very lightweight now. I mean, even Finn is fighting a Force user and kind of not dying.
One of the things that made Empire Strikes Back so realistic to people was the weight of the saber that they projected, that they felt like they were swinging around a heavy energy blade that, you had to have some force ability to control that. Otherwise, you're like Han Solo. You pick the thing up in the snow, you light it up, and you barely cut through the belly of a
Tauntaun beast. Yeah. That's how I like to think of it.
Handling that thing versus Luke or Vader or Obi-Wan or anything. That's some of the realism we've lost with other stuff. But what I liked about the prequels was the Jedi's ability to wield the weapons. And, that's right. A longsword is like wielding a lightsaber.
Mm.
In my opinion, at least, from doing stage combat, fencing, other sword stuff, which is why when Noah Star and I face off, he likes to fence me and he likes to fight me. Let's go. Okay, Excelsior's though. Oh, very nice, Excelsior. Very cool. Tim West, yep. There's Tim. That's very cool. Yep. In fact, when I was training, if he can hear me, when I was training over at Swordplay with Tim, because all of the students of his that got to go to be Pirates of the Caribbean, check this out. See, they all had to leave the country. But during that time, I was in the middle of a child custody battle, so I couldn't leave the country. But you know what I got to do? I got to fight all the pirates.
Oh, yeah.
I would just stay at the studio and hang out afterwards, have a few drinks and stuff, and we would all just practice fight and stuff. So a lot of the stunt people that were Pirates of the Caribbean, I just used to fight them just for the hell of it. Because I had nothing. In fact, my samurai sword that I think I've shown you.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of that.
I'll go take another picture of it real quick so you can post this. This is the samurai sword that had.
Oh, it had all the
double-ended
divots.
Battle axe many a time.
Yeah, it had all these divots in it. It's like ruined, but it's cool.
Yeah, it's actually I'll pull it out of the sheath and I'll take a picture and I'll send it to you here.
Okay.
He'll like this, yeah. Okay, here's my old cheesy Highlander hilt that I painted myself. And you'll notice I have pins through it and stuff.
Oh yeah. Here's the. I mean, actually, I'm brighten this up a bit. Here is hilt. I like that. Let me see. I know you showed me the picture of the. Oh yeah, here we go. Let me make this full screen. This is,
Well, here's the other thing is that
check out these divots. Look at those divots in the blade. This is from hitting Novastar's axe.
no.
Oh, the Pirates of the Caribbean.
No. This was from one of the Pirates of the Caribbean cast that had a double-ended battle axe.
Oh. Yeah, you can see all the
damage.
All the damage
No,
from
I've
hitting
fought
another
with
weapon.
this hilt against many swords for many years. No, this is not just from one fight.
Mm.
This is from many fights. Yeah, I used to do free fighting. I probably should have seen this online. No, we used to do free fighting stuff.
Yeah, that's some real damage. You do not want to get hit with
The
that.
whole point is that with the samurai, you're supposed to rotate it and block with the back and strike with the front.
Mm. That takes some skill.
Kind of a pain in the ass, but with a round lightsaber blade, easy as.
Oh, I see. This picture.
My Graflex.
This picture shows what you just said. This picture shows that on the back end, you did deflect a lot of hits with the back with the the other end.
That's why I showed you the back
Yeah.
pictures. Is when you're looking at the back, you gotta see. You're constantly rotating a samurai hilt to deflect. Especially the guy with a double-ended battle axe. If I rotate the hilt and I grab the axe with the curved part that's curving away, then I have more grip than I do on the front blade. You pin the axe and you swing back out.
Mm.
You know, like if someone swings an axe at you and you can grab the axe and pin it to the ground, and then you pull your blade up and swing towards his head. Can you visually? It's like a FX-Sabers
like it almost like a golf swing.
thing there, dude.
Mm. It kind of sounds like kind of a golf swing to me. Like the top of the swing is like the block, and then.
Well, no. If someone comes at you straight on, you grab it and you pin it to the ground and you pull back and you swing at their head.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I shouldn't be telling anybody this online.
Well, the likelihood of them being attacked with an axe.
It makes for a very cool thing, choreograph-wise, because then you're able to behead somebody in a relatively elegant pin and swing.
Mm. Like one
Just
kind
like
of clean motion, yeah. Now, if somebody wants to contact you for a build, what do they need to know? Should they go to FX-Sabers and contact you?
Is, I get people, messaging on Facebook and sometimes. So the Facebook messages, like, they come and they go. If someone really wants something, just log in to FX, make a profile, contact me, and say, hey, Yoda, I've got a Graflex, I've got a vintage I want to send in and get it converted. What does it cost or something? Or if they don't have something, they're waiting, when's your next auction? Because of the amount of time it takes me to build stuff sometimes, especially now that I'm changing over to Neopixel. If I was just building a regular LED saber with a CF9, I could probably get that done in like a couple, 2 to 3 weeks max. A in like a 2-week period, but the problem is every time I deal with someone, you know me, dude. Like right now, I like to talk. I just talk to my customers, see what they want. So a 2-week build turns into a 3-week build, and everyone's waiting for me to build a Graflex a month or something. And it's why I've been doing the auctions. I keep doing the auctions where it's like, okay, I'll get maybe a couple people in the forum that say, hey, yeah, I'm ready to buy something, I'm ready to build something, I got something to send in. Can we do this? And they offer me a certain amount of money. I won't tell you what people have offered me, but you know, I'll accept some orders, especially for people. Forum members that have been in a long time and waiting and stuff. Yeah, they want to push something through. I squeeze people in if I can. Otherwise, I'm just trying to stick to doing my auctions where I'm building what I feel is appropriate. Like right now, I'm doing an event. I did a replica Empire Strikes Back. It was all nice, clean. I'm doing a slightly weathered vintage Empire Strikes Back hilt for the next one. Just because I try to, you know, read what the community wants and what they're thinking and see what people like and what I feel like building too, because I have to be passionate about what I'm building so it comes out right. I know it's weird, but
that's true though.
Unless I have a customer that says, okay, I want this, I'm ready to pay X amount of dollars and just bang it out in this amount of time. Okay. But sometimes that drags on for weeks at a time, and like, oh my God, I've got to hurry up and get something going. I've got mortgage to pay and stuff. I do this for a living.
Is there an auction up right now on any of your builds, or is there one coming?
Right now, I've just been doing auctions. I really want to get back to having a list where people can sign up and say, okay, I'm going to pay X amount, I'm going to wait whatever time, and then when it's my turn, and build this. But I keep changing stuff. My chassis stuff keeps changing. It's like, I keep going through one thing and the next, and getting my stainless steel laser cut the way I do to get the good quality is hard enough as it is. You can go out and get just anything done, yes, but to get the quality that I want, nice and smooth, and it looks like, you know, like I've had a couple of people that they were like, things heavy. It's like having an expensive watch. I want them to feel that way.
Yeah.
I can't have anything less than that. So I can't dump my quality just to get more parts. I mean, I've got boxes of just junk parts to have at it, but you can't drill through it because it's laser cut and it's hardened steel. Good luck trying drilling through hardened steel.
Is that like the part?
Fire, and you'll see how well that works out.
Is that like the speaker holder on mine? Is the steel is like one of the steel parts?
All of those parts like on yours are laser cut. They're all 1/16.
Mm-hmm.
Some of my other parts are 1/8, and those have harder. I can't drill through something that's like the 1/16. Like I can do the 1/32, the thin parts, to fix a few little holes here and there, but because the laser hardens the steel, like super hardens it. I mean, super hardens that steel, dude. Like, you shave it. This is like knife hardened steel once the laser cuts it. That's why it's so tough, where, you know, you can just whack it against you'll fuck up the plastic parts, yeah, but the steel ain't going nowhere. And I'm trying to incorporate some more metal, more steel, or shift over to aluminum so I can do everything all a lighter aluminum, but
Yeah.
Okay. Your hilt that I made for you was using some of my prototype detail parts that I'm going to do a couple more times, but it takes a lot of extra sanding and grinding to layer up the part. It does look cool. It does look cool. And I was like, Anthony's helping me out. I'm going to give it a cool chassis.
That's for sure. That's a really cool chassis. I love it. I love looking at it. Sometimes I'm swinging it around. Now, not hard, but sometimes I'm swinging it around without the bottom part on, just so I could, see the circuitry and all the stuff.
Because I learned many years ago when I had our first Saber sabbatical gathering there, and a few sheets to the wind and whacked that one saber against the table real good. I split a polycarbonate blade from tip to tail.
Whoa.
And the whole blade split right down the middle. It fanned out like a butterfly in two sections, and my chassis actually cracked in half.
Oh, man.
But this was before I used any metal. It was just all plastic.
Mm-hmm.
It had the metal in between, but I was using plastic screws on one area to give it more flex, which I stopped using since then. But what was funny is the little rods that plug into the crystal
still function.
They held it together.
Oh.
And I popped it back together and used it for the rest of the night.
That's awesome. I remember you telling me that. Yeah, that's like a moment of truth.
Don't remember it. Yeah, if you ever get LDM on the line, he'll tell you. He goes, "Oh yeah, Yoda split that thing, man." He was like, "Oh shit!" Oh no, I broke it. No, it's still working. Hey, we're good to go.
I would love to talk to LDM. I would love to talk to LDM on here at some point.
Oh, don't worry, dude. Just make it out for celebration next year. I hook up with Vader's Alt and everybody.
Oh, awesome.
I assure you we'll, I know how to bring a party alive sometimes. It'll be funny, dude. We'll have a good time.
Yeah, I do want to come out. I do want to come out to Cali next year. We'll see if it lines up with celebration. I already found out that I couldn't get my tickets because it was too late, but maybe we could find a way to hang out, or at that time. That'd be cool. Get together with everybody.
Celebration tickets are sold out or something?
I think so. I think when I got the link about a month ago, and then they were like 2 days later, it's gone. Everything's gone. They said, "Oh, Thursday sold out, Friday sold out, Saturday sold out, Sunday." Oh man, I think maybe there was still something left.
I better go check.
Maybe there's still a way to do it other than the way I was trying. I have no idea, but I thought I was trying to like the official way, and it's like they were saying it's sold out. Maybe not for Yoda, but for SpaceWIndu, it's sold out. But I've been talking to Yoda from FX-Sabers, and I'm XR-Coon on FX-Sabers now, formerly SpaceWIndu. And it's just been such a great time, Michael, to talk to you. I can't wait to do it again. I think it's going to be a fun thing to do every now and again, and then we could have different people come on as well. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I definitely want to try and get other people from the community and stuff in there.
Absolutely thrilling to have you on the first FX-Sabers live, because it just talk about.
Hey, there's Irv. Hey, Irv.
Irv's in here.
I'm sorry, Irv. Okay, yeah. I've been trying to stay away from the computer so I can get the echo back. Sorry, Irv. Check it out, everybody. Decline, yeah. That's right. Excelsior shares master hero of the clan, just like the Highlander. Yeah, you know what? He must be familiar with Tim and his studio or something, because there was some Highlander stuff going on.
If somebody keeps saying Excelsior, that's got to be my friend Bane, because he always tells me to say Excelsior. I told him that's Stan Lee's phrase though for the comics. I do love the word Excelsior. I think that makes sense for the pinnacle of sabering as well. But
Very cool.
we're gonna log off, but we will be back. And
yeah, it's getting late for you, and it's late for me too. So.
Well, thanks again,
Hey,
Michael.
everybody.
It's been such a
May the Force be
thrill.
with you.
What's that?
May the Force be with everyone.
Oh, may the Force be with you as well. The Force will be with you always.
All right, dude.
All right.
I'll talk to you later.
See you later, Michael. See you later, everybody.
Right.
Have a great night. We'll be back again soon, talking sabers.
Yeah, let's do we should at least do it at least once a week to start with here.
Yeah, we
see
should.
how it works.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
Cool, man. I'm all for it.
All right,
May
sounds
the Force,
good.
everyone.
All right, may the Force be with you.
All right. Good night.
Good night.